Well, good evening. Welcome back to another quarantine cast. Is it just me? Did that 28-second countdown seem to take like 4 minutes?
Well, and also my thing dropped all the way to like 0 out of 10 for internet connection. I thought I was live and not seeing anyone.
Yeah,
that was
like
panic-inducing.
I don't know why I kept hearing it and hearing it. Hold on, What's going on there?
I think we're live. We're live now.
We are live. I know that. I just had to. I was checking Facebook to see. Welcome back. I'm Brian. That's Cody. That's Craig. Together we are Brian, Cody, and Craig doing the quarantine cast. That was an awkward introduction, but everybody's here. It's been quite a week since we were last together. First of all, we may or may not have a new president. Second of all, the virus is ramping up and just going, oh, you thought you had me licked? Screw you. I'm coming back double hard. So that's happening. But can we all agree on this? Can we reach across our virtual aisles and hold hands and say, this was the best week of weather in November ever? 7 days of 70-some degrees in November? Forget about it. I was out of my mind.
I did yard work all day Sunday and Monday. I ended up with 19. No. I ended up with like 25 lawn bags out front.
Oh, God.
Because I don't mulch all my leaves up, pick up like a real man. And the second, and then just before the flash storm hit for 2 minutes out here, just before that happened, the truck came and picked up, but I was still bagging. So I still have like 15 in my garage. I got a lot of old growth trees in our neighborhood. There's a lot of leaves. But yeah, no, I was in shorts and a t-shirt the entire time.
It's fantastic. Now, you don't have to worry about leaves, do you, Craig?
No, I don't have to worry about anything. I just had to enjoy the week. It was amazing. I did nothing.
Did you go outside, Craig?
I did. I went outside. I have a porch. I sat on my porch sipping my Soda Stream bottle and being just an awesome human.
Okay.
You didn't wave at the children as they went by, did you?
I did. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, just like, hi. Nothing too creepy. Just
okay,
a little,
that's good.
You know,
that's very.
I think everybody took me okay.
Well, sure. If you're on your own porch and you have pants on, usually you're okay.
Well, shorts.
Yeah, well, yeah, I consider shorts pants.
Outdoor.
I'm always in a tropical frame of mind, so I consider shorts pants.
Are we worried at all, though? Because it wasn't just here. It was like the East Coast. Everywhere had amazing weather for a week. It was lovely. Are we concerned?
Sure, all hell's going to break loose in about.
All right.
Well, my brother is on Anna Maria Island right now, which is just outside Tampa and Sarasota. So the hurricane is tropical storm. He's dealing with that. He lost power a little while ago. He texted us. It's funny. Yesterday I texted him, and because it was his birthday, and at that point the track of the hurricane had turned and it was heading more toward Mississippi because I think God has a thing against Mississippi. And then by this morning it had turned back and it was taking dead aim on his house. And he lives, when I say right on the water, I may be exaggerating because you have to cross a 2-lane road to get from his new house to the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's totally not right in the water.
Yeah, he's got it's got to go a long way to get
long
to
trek.
him.
Wow.
So he was this morning. I was like, "Hey, man, I hope you guys are okay." He goes, well, the wind is really going and the rain is really bad, but we'll try. So to answer your question, yes, of course I'm worried, but I didn't care.
Right,
I didn't worry while it was happening.
Yeah, it was an incredible week.
I'm with you though, Cody. I was now my yard is not as big as yours, and I don't have as many old growth trees, but I was so angry because the other day I cleaned off my yard. Everything looked great. And I was going to just mow them up and mulch them with the lawnmower, but there were too many. So I filled up my bags, took them to the alley. And then within 25 minutes, there were leaves all over my yard again because my neighbors are not as conscientious as I am. So that's part of the suburban living that you got to get everybody on the same page. Because if they're not on the same page, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, I don't know if I could give my neighbors. So my street's kind of a downhill, and I'm like 3 houses from the bottom. I don't know how much crap I could give my neighbors if they didn't do a great job because a whole chunk of my fence just kind of blew off.
What?
Yeah, the wind blew it off. Like
the
whole segment between 2 posts, just fence, just. Now my wife.
Should we call Lou Manfredini?
Yeah.
To get Mr. Fix-It on this?
My wife told me that apparently during remember that like other insane windstorm that we had this summer? Craig, I was on your show talking about it, and I talked about how trash cans were knocked over, and you were very upset because you.
Oh my God, I hate it. Oh, I hate it so much.
I told Craig, I was like, the wind is
the
so
trash
strong.
can thing.
I said the wind is so strong that there were trash cans blowing over in the street.
That's the stupidest gauge of how bad a storm is if trash cans were moved. To me, that's like the dumbest thing to say is this relatively light product that's plastic and sitting outside was blown over. It's obviously a bad week.
Well, what if it's the day before garbage day and that can is now full of trash?
It was, but it's
perhaps you have disposed of a body in there.
It's not a barometer. No weather guy. Al Roker's not going to give us the amount of trash cans that have been blown over. That's not how we gauge this.
Let me a soft correction, if I might. One of the first things in New Orleans, one of the first things they tell you when the storms are coming is secure your garbage cans. It's on all the PSAs. It's on everything they send out from the city. Mm-hmm. Secure your garbage cans. The first thing Molly did was take her garbage cans and put them in the inside the fence. And they have the big rolling carts. Put them inside. Listen. Maybe as a renter,
I have a trash can.
I worry if my garbage cans blow away. Mine are in the alley, so
I don't worry about that. I'm not scared that I'll lose a trash can. That's not valuable compared to any of the other things. Houses damaged, trees down. These make sense to me as barometers for bad weather.
Couldn't all those things happen if your garbage can was flying through the air like the Wicked Witch of the West?
But then who would mention the trash can? If I went outside and everything was destroyed, what idiot would be like, and look at all the trash cans that have also been ruined here? No one would do that.
If one landed in your living room, you sure would.
Okay. And the only exception.
Al Roker is not saying that because in New York City, they just take flaming hot bags of garbage and throw them in front of their house.
You know what? That is true. There are no garbage cans in New York City.
New York City
I think that's wrong.
Flaming trash heap. That's
all I know is from both of Molly's apartments, one in the Bronx and one on the Upper East Side, there was just trash piled on the streets.
Well, there's a lot of people that live in that city. I don't know if you guys know.
And they don't have alleys.
Yeah, and there's a lot of garbage. There's a lot of garbage, and there's a lot of human waste.
If you had alleys in New York City, they would be the most disgusting places on all of Earth. I thank God we don't have more of those.
Yeah, it would be, every alley would be like if you went down in the sewer system. And there would be as much fluid and rats and everything else that was living down there.
Just littered with overturned trash cans. That's what it would be.
Have you always felt this strongly about the trash can barometer?
I just don't ever get it. Yeah, I guess I have, because every time I see anyone mention it, I don't know why that's like fear one. I don't know why I'd ever be afraid that my trash can would get loose compared to any of the other horrific things that weather can do to us as people.
I'm not sure it's a fear. Cody, were you afraid of it, or just it's an observation?
Petrified.
Oh my God, the garbage cans blew away.
What I told him was, at the time, my neighbors were making me mad because some of them, my neighbors, like our trash gets picked up Tuesday. The second Monday morning hits. Like I wake up, let's say around 10 or 11. I wake up and half the neighbors have their garbage out. It's like the first thing they do in the morning. Now it's not getting picked up till tomorrow. There's no rush. And everyone knew this storm was coming. So my contention to Craig at the time was, why wouldn't you wait until this insane storm is over at like, I don't know, 5 or 6 at night, not that hard, to then bring out your garbage so it's not strewn across the street? That's the point I was making. And it triggered Craig. Triggered him bad.
It sounds like it.
It did real bad.
This is no longer a safe space for Craig.
No.
And I apologize for that. I need
a few minutes.
To take a breath. Do you need us to take you off the stream so you can cry or whatever it is that you need to do?
I'm all right. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So maybe it's just the trash part of it. You don't want. I don't know. I'm good with people knowing. I'm good with people. Well, that's like the other.
To me, a storm is bad if it does things beyond move trash cans, and it's not bad if all it does is impact trash cans.
What about Cheryl Burton telling me the other night to bring in all my patio furniture?
I think that's
it was going to get very windy.
I think that's different. I think patio furniture is a step above a trash can because it's
patio
a plastic.
Chair is much lighter.
I don't know. It depends. Depends on the patio furniture.
Wow.
And the trash. We recycle an insane amount of things. How much do you guys recycle compared to trash?
I have
you
two
ever noticed?
recycling bins, two of the full-size rolling dumpsters.
Yeah. I don't know if Betty just buys everything she possibly can that's recyclable, but we only get recycling picked up every other week here.
Yes,
and it's full to the brim every time. And the trash, it's never full. So it would blow away easily in a very mild storm.
That's why I had to call my alderman and request a second recycling bin. Because one, it looks like an AA meeting went very badly in one of my recycling bins.
Yeah.
And then the other one is, full of whatever else.
See?
We go through a lot of cardboard and plastic and, other recyclables, glass.
There you go.
I'm just going to name them all. Aluminum.
Let's do it.
So what happened? So what happened with this fence? So the wind took the fence away? Now, wait, Craig, how do you feel about a fence getting blown away? Is that a good
sounds
indicator
dangerous?
that a storm?
Yes. That sounds
really
much worse.
Yes. So had you known it was it loose from the previous storm? Is that what you started to say?
That's what my wife tells me. I did not observe this, but I walked outside and I was like picking up some, I don't know, leaves or whatever. Actually, before the wind hit yesterday, and I walked over to the fence and I was like, oh, it's kind of loose over here, and I kind of tugged on it and it just like boom, just like right between the foot fell down. Now, here's the weird thing: the previous owners left a picnic table in our backyard when they left.
Okay, that's nice.
It matches our porch, our not quite wraparound, but almost wraparound porch and deck are this like kind of reddish color, this vivid red color, like your shirt, actually. Not unlike your shirt.
Very nice.
So it's distinct, right? It's not your generic woodsy brown or gray or white, So, okay, it's like an accessory to go with the deck and the porch, but they left it. And my wife wanted me to throw it out because apparently one of the boards is kind of rotted. And she was like, I went outside and there were 1 million bugs on it. I'm like, okay, that sounds gross. I have gone out in the backyard 500 times since then, never seen a bug on it. So I don't know. There is a chunk missing, so maybe I got to saw it. This is neither here nor there. The point is, I was like, let's just stick it on the side of the yard over here, and I can take like a circular saw and I can just buzz off the rotted part or whatever. But it's a table. What the heck?
All right, Tim Allen.
Well, dude, I used the circular saw. I'm waiting for Roger to tune in so I can talk about that. But I used the circular saw just before this today. I used the circular saw for the first time today.
Wow. How'd you like it?
I was about to say I was very handsy. That's not what I meant to say.
Yeah, I don't think if you were handsy with a circular saw, you're like Michael Myers. That's not.
Yeah.
Like Leatherface.
Handy. But anyway, I kind of hoarded it. So my solution was yesterday, I just dragged the picnic table in front of the fence. I kind of propped it up, just like stuck the table there. And I'm like, we'll just back away slowly.
It'll hold on.
Yeah.
Janice wants to know what we're drinking tonight. We'll go around the horn. Bitcoin Johnny. That's you, Cody.
My name is Johnny. I'm having a large Mountain Dew from our friends at Culver's, who should write me a check for saying that.
Would you have a nice Butterburger?
It's a mushroom and Swiss.
Oh,
I've actually got a couple bites left. So if I lean off camera, that's why. Because of course I can't time food for, more than 5 minutes before. But I have a newborn. The ultimate.
That's true. Speaking of your newborn, and then we'll get to Craig and my drinks. Your newborn was name checked last night on one of the late night comedy shows in one of their jokes. I don't know if you want me to say who, because I don't know if you want people to go back and watch that person's opening bits. They were doing a thing, and they used your son's name as part of the joke. Ooh. Not the butt of the joke, but it was in reference to something English, and it was blank and blank. We're doing this and this and this. And
all right, text me.
All right, I'll text you. But I thought there's this joke and your son were the only two times I'd heard this name. So I was like, hey, I know a kid with that name, and he's not in Britain at all.
That's good. I always call him my baby or whatever.
Wow. I don't blame you.
Or
I never
son.
used Molly's name.
Yeah.
Kid, pal.
Unless you're yelling at her, right?
Oh, no, I didn't even use it then. Then I just used so many profanities. It wasn't. She knew who I was talking to. She still does. Still knows who I'm talking to. What are you drinking, Craig? We saw your clear plastic bottle of red liquid.
Yeah, it's SodaStream, and this is I think Mio energy drink, and then I forget what alcohol I put in here.
Oh, you did put some alcohol in.
Yeah. I thought that
I want
was
to be the only one.
Right. No, I thought we had to. I actually thought you had to drink to be a part of the show.
Yes. I am trying something brand new. Now when Debbie came home, she brought me, I think 2 weeks ago or something, I had an Almond Joy cream ale from Urban South.
Wow.
Well, she had bought that same day, they had released a Snickers one, which I've had as well, and it's delicious. She had bought a 4-pack for her and Molly. Now, Molly doesn't drink beer, and Debbie does, but they bought the same day. They also Urban South released a Sour Patch cream ale.
Oh.
Now, neither one of them are going to drink it, and they were in the refrigerator, and I thought, well, why don't I try it? It's kind of a reddish color, a little reddish gold, and it's not. I don't like sours as a rule, but this is not. This has a more sweet. It's still got a little sourness to it, but it's got a nice sweetness to it, and the cream ale adds a level of creaminess that bites through the usual sour. So, Urban South Goodies, the Sour Patch Kids cream ale. That's my drink of choice tonight.
That looks very good.
I did bring a second just in case.
It looks very good. I'm very impressed with your drinking skills, both of you guys.
Well, if I may, I wanted to, before we go back to all the other fun stories and find out how Cody rigged up his fence not to fly away beside you. So are you going to screw it? We got to finish that. Then I'll troll Cody for a minute.
I'll drill a hole and screw it later. I just haven't felt like it yet.
What, and did you use, you were saying the circular saw, was that on the picnic table? So you did take it to the picnic table, or what did you circular saw?
No, I circular saw it. I started working on those base traps I keep talking about and never actually doing.
Craig, are you with me? We've heard about these base traps for weeks, and it seems like they are either way beyond his ability to actually make them, or such a huge project, he has overestimated his ability to put them together.
I think it's the second one. I think he's definitely overestimated his ability to put them together. I also would say this. You couldn't have replaced a fence with a more opposite item in a picnic table. You went from something that's like blocking people out to something welcoming people into that spot.
No. The picnic table, the fence is leaning against the picnic table.
Yeah, but so you now have a picnic, like people who wander up with the missing part of the fence would be like, oh, a lovely picnic table here, and just have a meal at the fence border of your home.
Over the picnic table, which I don't think is, I'm not a physics person.
I thought
so the picnic table's in the backyard and the fence is facing outside. So interlopers would not know that the picnic table is back there.
Yeah. Craig, the chunk of fence is still itself intact. It's just not attached to either side.
I envisioned fence, picnic table, fence, and I just thought that was an awesome image. And like Cody's like
this is mine. Like this?
Right.
Like the picnic table is my head?
I would probably take a photo of that and turn a meme onto the internet if I saw Cody's backyard, but it's not the way I pictured. So I guess I'm now disappointed.
Craig, the worst part is that what you said is something I would do.
I know.
It's plausible enough, and that's upsetting to me.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it blew away completely.
That would have been great. Either that or he took it down to the river and made it into a raft like Tom Sawyer. Went down the Mighty Miss.
None of that.
Do you guys watch SNL? I'm curious.
I do.
Have they had like a hell of a streak of people doing monologues that I think are interesting, poignant, sometimes piss people off, but they've done a really good job with the monologue of outside of Adele to start this season.
What did Adele?
Well, that's because there's nobody out promoting anything, and New York stand-ups are much easier to much easier to get. And they've all done a good job.
They've had Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle, and John Mulaney have all done what I thought were excellent and very different. And Chris Rock, yeah, thank you. And then Adele just talked about her career a bit. That's the only one. But did you see it, Cody?
No, but Bill Burr is obviously going to knock it out of the park. I freaking love Bill Burr.
He made people mad.
I love Bill Burr as well. I love Bill Burr as well. I thought he struggled a little bit, and that's not his fault. It's that setup is not great for stand-up, especially when you're coming in. It's a limited audience now anyway. It's not a full crowd, and they're not necessarily Bill Burr fans. So they're easily, and it's happened with everybody. it happened. Chappelle had a really good set and was very funny, but as Craig said, he upset people. Mulaney upset people with a joke that was completely innocuous. There was no reason for people to be upset about this, but we're in 2020 and everybody's got a stick. You know, they need to pull him out of their asses and give him to Cody to help shore up his fence. That's where all those sticks need to go, to Cody's backyard.
Nailed it.
But yeah, it's not set up for stand-up, but those guys, to their credit, all treated it as a stand-up set without the luxury of being able to go to clubs and work it out all over town and get those 7, 8, 10 minutes really tight.
And that's unique to this year, right? Maybe because of the constraints of what they're doing. The stand-up, like Chappelle went for 7 or 8 minutes. It felt like it was way longer than the 2 or 3 normally, and did a lot more material than I would have expected he do. And he smoked on stage.
He smoked on stage. He used the N-word. He was all over the place. But it's Dave Chappelle. And it's funny that he was the host in 2016 when the election was decided.
Yeah, and
he used that as you and I talked about that earlier. He used that as part of his material at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you like the set overall?
I've liked all of them. I know that they've been controversial. I know that they've offended people, even Mulaney, which, by the way, as you said, was the most Mulaney type of joke.
Yes.
You shouldn't get mad at that, in my opinion, but everybody do what they got to do. But no, I thought Chappelle said a lot of really valuable things while also doing comedy, because he kind of did more than just comedy in that.
Well, that's his thing, though. He's all about the message.
Yeah.
And I was watching it with Debbie, and we were laughing because I never watch it live because I hate commercials. Plus, there's a good chance during most of the sketches I'm going to fast forward. Okay. And I'm going to blow through the musical guests because I don't care.
Me neither.
Except this week, I had to watch Foo Fighters.
Okay.
But I'll blow through that, and then I race to get to Weekend Update because I'm usually not let down by Weekend Update. And then after Weekend Update, let's all be honest, the last half hour of the show is usually garbage.
It's all commercials.
It's all commercials.
It's like a 1 minute skit, and then it's like on the saxophone, and then it's like 2 minutes of Pfizer ads, and then it's like, and now back to this one skit, and then it'll be like, hey, did you hear that thing that happened this week? Yeah, let's make it into a car commercial. Haha, that was good.
I don't know what this
25-second graphic of some random cast member you've never seen before. You're like, oh, they work there, and it's just like them in like some weird Technicolor, like Andy Warhol kind of like art like filter painting, and then there's another 3 minutes of like probably car commercials. Yeah, it's bad.
So the short answer to my question, Cody, was no, you didn't watch SNL?
No.
That was the short answer? Okay. Because we could go either way. All right, that's fine. I like it. I even like the end of the show where it's all trash, apparently, because they have like the sketch that shouldn't have made it, that ends the show, and they usually break in that one. So I had a great time.
This week, that last sketch with Chappelle was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The one where they were doing the takeoff on the OJ car chase.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So that was pretty funny. I do like to see the end. I don't know why I like to see everybody standing on stage. I like to see them all with the masks. And then I looked, I went, Alec Baldwin doesn't have a mask on. Then he turned and he had a full face shield on like he was Iron Man. Like, what the hell's he up to? Good Lord.
Also, do you notice people don't like to interact with Jim Carrey? Have you noticed that? Like he seems to kind of be on his own at the end of every show.
That doesn't really surprise me.
All right.
He's an anti-vaxxer.
I think he's hilarious, but I think he's a lot.
He's probably a lot. He's an anti-vaxxer? That's real? I didn't know
Jim Carrey is?
Isn't he? I'm like 99%.
No, Jenny McCarthy, who he was married to.
This is a new bit we do on the QuarantineCast. We make stuff up every so often.
Yeah, we just throw out facts and libel people.
No, he might be right. I don't know. I know it was Jenny McCarthy.
I know it was Jenny McCarthy was.
Yeah,
you're right. It was his.
But he's thought about it. We all know that he's considered it.
He probably has.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Does it?
Jim Carrey is anti-neurotoxin.
Oh,
he is pro-vaccine. I gotta plug in my computer; it'll die.
What happened? What does that mean? Anti-neurotoxin. It sounds like a supervillain.
Yeah, I think I'm anti-neurotoxin too, but you could probably persuade me I'm not.
Yeah, I don't want to commit one way or another. Toxin is usually bad, so I'm anti-toxins.
Yeah.
But neuro is
neurotoxin might
brain.
flip it.
Are you anti-brain?
See, that's what I don't know. Am I anti-brain poison? Yeah.
Poison in my brain. Yes.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to take a bold stand.
Us and Jim Carrey, we're the only three. We're doing an infomercial sometime in the future.
And somebody's going to send him this link, and then the three of us are going to go on some big PR campaign.
Yeah,
and
I can't wait.
And he's going to be the only one who knows what it is.
Right.
You and I are going to go, yep, hate it.
I don't like them. Neurotoxins are bad.
Neurotoxins for the birds.
Right. Not going to do that when they tell me to. Take that, Obama.
Cody will just follow us with his saxophone.
There you go.
The thing is, I could go in the next room and get my saxophone and literally do it, but I don't know any riffs like that.
Oh.
You have a saxophone?
Oh.
I didn't know
you
know
this.
this.
In college.
I didn't know this at all. This has never come up.
Pretty soon the Matt Bubala story will come up.
I knew that you had an ocarina, and I didn't know that you had a saxophone.
Oh, where's the ocarina? That might be near here.
Much better.
You have a
Maybe in my
vuvuzela?
Wait, hold on. No,
What is a macarena?
I have a rain stick.
Oh, I like rain sticks.
Ocarina.
What's an ocarina?
What instruments does Cody have? This is the new game in the quarantine cast. Just
exciting.
one at a time.
He's like Prince without all the ability.
It's a flute from The Legend of Zelda, Noonan.
Oh, is it like a pan flute?
It's like a little. Yeah, I think so. It's like a little tiny. I don't know many instruments. What's going to happen?
But you knew makalele or ocarina.
Didn't I play this on your radio show one time, Craig?
You did, yes.
Oh, the flute?
It's
The ocarina.
the ocarina.
Hey, listen, fellas. Let's slow our rolls.
There we go. Oh, good. Is it?
Is it blue plastic?
No, it's
Yeah.
ceramic.
I like
Oh,
that
it's ceramic. Okay, it's
I
ceramic.
like that it's a necklace.
Yeah.
The ocarina from Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you can play that. That is loud.
Hold on.
Right now, every dog in the neighborhood and Cody's baby are screaming bloody murder.
Cindy wants the Matt Bubala story. I need the Matt Bubala
It has to
story.
do with Cody and his saxophone.
Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, that's a saxophone story. We're learning to play how to play the ocarina. Lesson 1, lesson 3, lesson 4. Where is Zelda's lullaby?
Where did you? Is it all? Do all the lessons revolve around Zelda?
Yeah.
No,
Do they really?
Jingle
I have no
bells
idea.
and minuet from Bach and Ode to Joy and Happy
Oh my God.
Birthday. But these are written
Wow.
stupid. Where's?
I don't know what's happening.
I love that you put him on the spot and he's going to do it. This is no rehearsal.
play
Ladies
something
and gentlemen, this
festive?
is not, we don't script this out.
Yeah, can we get a holiday song of some kind?
Veterans Day, salute to the veterans.
I don't know. Christmas is coming and people are putting up trees already, Noonan.
I saw lights on houses as I was taking my walks the last few days.
I don't blame anybody. This is very odd to hear him get it ready to go.
I don't remember it. I don't remember
tuning it up?
at all.
Okay.
It was like
That's a shame. I regret mentioning it.
I like that he's getting sound out of it, though.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I was able to do the Top Gun theme at one point.
Okay.
Danger Zone? Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
You want us back. You want us back.
You can
Every
be
ep-
my wingman.
Hold on.
Iceman.
Every episode of this, the rest of 2020, we have to start with that song, him playing it on the ocarina.
How have you not recorded that
Yeah.
as the intro for this show?
Honestly, it'll make me so much happier
That would be so,
every week until
great. Every week, people just, is that the ocarina?
we can actually just send Cody out into the real world to play it around people and see if he's like lifting lives.
Right. He could. Maybe they'd start to follow him like rats.
Yeah. Yeah. The
That
Pied
would be
Piper.
terrific.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I have an ocarina, but I was originally a double major in music and journalism because I wanted to do music and my mom wanted me to be employed. So anyway, I ended up dropping my music degree.
Two solid majors for that goal.
Yeah, I can't figure out which one you did for mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? So I dropped the music degree my senior year because I had failed music theory at least once, maybe twice, because it's
Wow.
really hard. And I was like, this is probably not worth spending an extra semester worth of tuition on a second degree that I don't need. So I dropped it. But up until then, I was in, I had like 12 credit hours. I took 23 credit hours a semester. Most places you would take like 15, 16.
12.
But a lot of my ensembles counted as one. But yeah, most of my time at university, Drake University, I was at like marching band, wind symphony, jazz band, jazz combo, saxophone quartet.
Never come up. I've known Cody for years. This has never come up.
How does that? Because now he's ashamed of it. He only brings it out. He only brings out his instruments for one radio personality.
I realized something about myself, actually. Maybe this is a reflection on me more than Cody. I don't ask like the questions. When you meet somebody, you know, like the basic questions, the starter conversation ones, I don't like those. I never do those. Really? So I don't learn stuff. Yeah, I don't learn stuff like that about Cody because I would have never asked him what he studied in college. That's too predictable of a question.
Wow, you're not dating. It's okay to.
I don't care.
After all the years you've known him, it never came up.
No.
So let's segue. We'll come back to Craig's lack of social skills, which I find fascinating.
They are.
But let's segue and get this the story of Cody. Only now, all the years, Craig, that Cody has worked with me, he has never played any instrument for me.
Okay.
Or near me.
All right.
I played you the ocarina just now.
Just now. All right. Yeah. I stand corrected. Yeah. Up until now, Craig, previously in all the years we've known each other, Cody has never played an instrument.
And he's played multiple instruments in front of me before, so that's not special.
And he played for another radio personality. Asked him to play an instrument. Oh, he's Johnny on the concert spot.
I somehow got roped into working New Year's Eve into New Year's Day on WGN Radio when Brian wasn't on air. This was one of the worst decisions of my adult life.
Yep.
I was going through a breakup at the time. My girlfriend, our ex at the time, was texting me. I was texting her trying to meet up and stuff at 5 a.m. when I got off, which wasn't going to happen. So I'm working with Matt Bupala, who I'd never met. This was like this was years before he had a regular show. I mean, this was maybe his second.
Was he still producing for John at the time?
He wasn't producing, but it was his second or third fill-in as a host.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about him because I wasn't familiar with him from when he was a producer. So, and Brian, your background, you were like, oh yeah, he used to be a producer. Then he started some podcasts. Now he's doing some fill-ins or whatever. I'm like, okay. So he got the short straw. So did I, apparently. I don't know to this day why. It's just like 2011 or 2012. And I think I either convinced myself or I thought it would be an upgrade if I was like, well, hey, at midnight, can I play Auld Lang Syne on the saxophone? Because that'd be cool. So I decided to play Auld Lang Syne on the saxophone at midnight on WGN Radio without rehearsing.
Oh.
So I hit all the right notes, except I definitely missed one and had to kind of correct it. And it was like, so it went from like this could sound kind of, because I have actually really, so I'm not a great jazz musician, but I have a good jazz sound. Sure. Like I can't improvise very well, but like the actual sound that comes out, the timbre and everything, it's like I do a good jazzy, like I can do good scoops. And if you give me
that's in the liner notes of his album.
It is. Yeah, I know.
No, you give me some sheet music. I sound really good on the sax, honestly. Yeah.
Are you trying to join a band through this?
Dude, it would have been like a 10 out of 10, but because of the missed note, it was like probably a 6.5. And then Brian texted me. He's like, "She was something like heard you. That was fine," or I don't know.
I don't remember that part.
It wasn't rude. It wasn't rude or like mean. But
well, then I know it wasn't me.
He made it up.
No, it wasn't mean.
I'm trying to envision what it would be like to be a fill-in host working with a producer that you've never met before and getting the email, "Can I play the saxophone at midnight?" And just trying like to gauge that. Yeah, it's a good idea. Or maybe it's not. It's supposed to be in the news right at midnight, so maybe I can
had
say
$1 for every time a fill-in producer went, at some point, can I do a soliloquy during the program?
Right.
Why?
Can I play a short solo at some point?
I have an Akamena, Chachabinga, and I'd like to play it at some point during the program.
I wish I heard it, though. I wish I had.
How did Matt respond?
I don't think.
And why weren't Steve and Johnny there? That's their gig.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I've worked that shift multiple times. It was always with Steve and Johnny.
Yeah.
I never worked that shift.
Congratulations, Craig.
Thanks
for making me feel worse.
Wow. So there you go. So now you know. All right. So now you know Cody plays the saxophone and many other instruments. Is there anything? Now you and Cody have known each other for how many years?
Since I knew you, Noonan. I met you guys, I think, as a group.
A decade? Can we say a decade safely?
Yeah, I think so.
And you didn't know that he had any musical abilities. Is there anything else you would like to ask him now that may surprise you? A decade in the making.
Yeah.
And now you actually, his last name is Goff. I don't know if you know that.
I mispronounced it for a while. I remember that I thought, for a long time, I thought you were, I can't remember. It was something that you told me sounded caveman-esque because I wouldn't say Goff. I thought it was like Gaw.
Gaw.
I did. I don't know why I did. Now,
it's Goff.
I know. I'm aware of that now.
I remember that. To your credit, Craig, my wife has never heard me play the saxophone.
Really?
And she's a little sore about it. I kept telling myself I was saving. Well, first I was
no. Hold on. Let's fix that tonight.
Yeah.
We can fix all of that tonight. You can play the saxophone for me, for Noonan, and for Casey and the baby.
You know what would be great if you went out on your little Evita Perón balcony there and lit a cigarette and then had it in your fingers as you played the saxophone for us.
Look, it's going to come full circle. We didn't plan this, but the audience is going to be down for it. At the end of the show today, he's going to play Old Lang Syne to play us off. That's going to happen at the end of today's quarantine cast.
Having rehearsed it, that's what I do. I only play a saxophone on podcasts when I haven't rehearsed.
All right, then do every Clarence Clemens solo from the Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, do that.
Normally,
learn a little Clarence for us.
My excuse for years was I didn't want to play a saxophone in an apartment in Chicago and bother my neighbors. But now my excuse is I have a little baby boy asleep about 15 feet away from this office, so I can't.
Nothing will prepare him for life better than if you just walk in and blow that saxophone right over his crib and wake him out of his sound sleep. And this is a good way to test if his heart is strong.
What sax is it? Is it alto? Is it a?
I started on tenor, and then when I got to college, I switched to alto. I have a Selmer Series 3 alto. I had a student model tenor, and I lent it to someone, and he never gave it back.
That's no good.
So Molly played alto sax for a while.
That's right. I knew
throughout high school, and then she focused on clarinet. Till after freshman year in marching band in Tulane, she has not picked up an instrument since.
I'm sending Cody the sheet music because he did say. Cody did say just a second ago that if I send him sheet music, he can play anything and he'll play it really good, jazz style. Is that what you said?
Yeah, good tenor, I heard.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, so I'm sending you the sheet music for Old Lang Syne with an alto sax.
Perfect. If you want to request a song from Cody, 312-870-0023. It's all request Wednesday night here on the big stream.
It's not.
No, it's not. But if you request them, maybe down the line, maybe for a holiday special. Can you learn like a Christmas song for the holidays?
I can do that.
All right. That gives you like a month or so. You don't have to be perfect.
Oh, man.
It's going to be better than
too.
Do you?
Yeah.
Can you play the clarinet? I would, if you picked up a song, I would beg Molly, because she's going to be here at the holidays. I would beg her if she would do a duet with you on the sax and her on the clarinet. And I will keep the beat on my Boron.
I got a Fender bass too. I got a Fender Precision bass.
Have you ever been in a band?
There's only 2 keys.
No, there's 4.
There's no strings there. Oh, is that your? Oh, that's
5.
Okay.
Oh my God. I want to see from the comments. Do people want Cody to play the saxophone tonight and wake up his baby? Do you care about the baby, or do you want to hear him play sax?
Who's more important, you and your listening pleasure, or Cody's baby?
Right.
Some baby.
That you can't know the name of.
Unnamed baby. We saw him once with a baby. Do we know that it's his baby?
It could be elaborate. This could all be a lie.
They have real dolls for other things. Maybe they have real baby dolls.
That would be very creepy if it was that.
I've never seen a bass player get that into it. I've seen guitarists do that, but
I broke the bass. I was on a roll. I'm sorry, I can't play it anymore.
Okay.
Wow. So back to you, Craig. Do you have any other questions? Any other things that you need to know about Cody after a decade?
How many Bitcoins do you own currently?
Oh, good question.
Less than 1, but more than 0. How many instruments have you? Can you name, Craig?
Can I name? I'm not. I don't play any.
That's a terrible question. How many instruments can you name?
Yeah, it's almost demeaning. I refuse to play this game because it's mean. I can't play any.
You can't play any instrument.
No, I tried to learn the piano and the guitar, and I failed miserably at both, and then I gave up.
I have taken piano lessons, guitar lessons, drum lessons, and bowron lessons. The bowron I was doing pretty well, but then the arthritis in my wrist has gotten really bad. So it's hard to do this when you have a horrible bunch of arthritis in there. But yeah, I don't, and I'm very envious because Debbie played the piano for years, like and Molly played the piano, and she played clarinet really well. She played saxophone, and she picked it up as easily as Debbie did. But then, and that's what, to me, like, and I've told her this, I go, man, you should start to play, because it's such a gift to be able to play an instrument. You know, I've tried and I just don't have, I have good rhythm, like I can, and I enjoy music. I just didn't have the patience, and I believe it is an aptitude. I believe you have to have some sort of you're predetermined that you could do this. There's something that, and you know, granted, then there are people who can do it really, really well.
Yeah.
But if you can sit down and just play some tunes on the piano or something, that's so great. It's just so great. And that's one of the few things that I'm really envious of people, if they have that kind of musical ability.
One of my buddies from college, we lived together right after college. He had the full piano in our apartment in Chicago. He had a full stand-up piano. And like, he kept saying that he wanted to teach lessons. Our neighbors probably hated us. And he kept trying to teach me for free to learn how to teach a bad student. And I was like, I had free lessons if I ever wanted them. And I totally passed up on it, Noonan.
I could never get everything coordinated. I couldn't get the right and left hand on the piano. I couldn't get the right and left hand going. It's how I type too. I have to look, and so I couldn't really get that. I never got to the pedal part because that was, forget about it.
My problem was I refused to learn any song other than Scenes from an Italian Restaurant by Billy Joel. I wanted that to be the first song I knew how to play, and he's like, that's too hard for song one. And I was like, I don't care. Teach me that, or you're bad.
Billy Joel didn't write that first.
Well, I know. I don't care.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to know.
The reason I dropped my music major, and it was hard and emotional, and there was a lot going on in college when I dropped it, but like, I was legitimately practicing like 2-3 hours a day. I mean, I played at least 30 hours a week, like at least every week for 3.5 years. And then I would go to an audition, and my girlfriend at the time was a psychology major with a music minor.
How did that one end?
Yeah, she wasn't good.
Bragging that he, not only that he can play an instrument, but he had a girlfriend.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's not a brag.
Although she probably broke up with him on New Year's Eve when he was at WGN.
Oh, playing Old Lang Syne?
Yeah, I think so.
Go.
It's all the same
So
way.
you would go, and how would, I'm guessing this came to your girlfriend at the time, analyzing what would happen.
No. Just one example is like, she like objectively wasn't that good. Like, I was the lead of her saxophone quartet, and I played harder stuff, and I was better. And then she goes and auditions like without practicing, and then she's like, oh, well, she's a spot ahead of you in concert band now. And there were other people like just, you know, like auditioning better than me and stuff like that. And it's just like, I was so frustrated with the lack of any output from all the input that I was giving it. It's just like, yeah, like, I'm not going to do this for 30 to 40 hours a week and not be progressing significantly, especially not like ahead of other people. Not that you should compare yourself to other people, but like, it was,
how do you know if you're better then?
Yeah, it was a measure.
Paraphrase Caddyshack.
Something to compare myself against. So yeah, I was like, to your point, Brian, I had some degree of musical aptitude and ability, and I could play some really hard stuff. But at the end of the day, I didn't have that ability to like just ascend consistently. And I did all the right things in practicing.
Couldn't you keep it up now just for personal enjoyment? That's what I mean. I mean, if you give it up completely, not, you know, granted, everybody comes to a point that I'm sure every person who was in a band that didn't make it came to a point where they're like, this band isn't, we're never going to be the Rolling Stones. But they still like to pick up the guitar around the fire in the backyard, or play in their, you know, they do it because they love it. And to have that ability and not use it, I think it's just sad to me. It might not be sad to the people who have, but
you're cheating the world of something.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Cody is depriving the world of his saxophone, and actually this show this evening.
Right. Sandy says, I can't read music. To me, it's just black dots, and some have flags attached all over the piece of paper. Let's see. Cindy says no sax, but Alex says, come on, Cody, 30 seconds on the sax. And Barbara asking these tough questions. I thought his room was soundproof, so it shouldn't bother the baby. That's true, but we also know that Cody has not put up his bass catchers yet, or his dream catcher.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his.
We can fix all these problems if he starts to entertain us. We can put him out in his car. There's a lot of ways to get saxophone to happen tonight.
Oh, that would be great. Just standing out in all your leaves, standing on your broken picnic table in the back, wailing sax over your
cell phone.
Fence.
Hold it here and sax for us.
Like the car would work, not to be pedantic, but technically I did not soundproof my closet. I am making it sound absorbent. There's a difference. So I'm making it so that the sound doesn't bounce as much, but it doesn't actually block sound from permeating through. So like I'll have a sound absorbing curtain, so you won't hear an echo, but you'll be able to hear me clearly on the other side. So it's and if you're buying soundproofing stuff online, make sure that it is actually soundproofing, not sound absorbing or sound diffusing, because a lot of people will buy like a sound absorbing curtain. And they'll be like, oh, well, I'll give it a 1-star review because it doesn't like block the sound. Well, it's not designed to block the sound. It's designed to absorb the sound so it doesn't bounce, but you can still hear people on the other side.
So you're telling me if I hang that curtain and close it and I start swearing at Debbie, she'll still be able to hear me.
But if you wrap it around your face, she can't.
Well, sure, because I'll suffocate and die, and then it won't really matter if I'm swearing or not.
Are they cold French fries, by the way, Cody?
It's Cody eating cold French fries. That's from Carol on YouTube. We're on Facebook and YouTube, fellas. Yeah. This is very exciting, multi-platform.
I know.
They were pretty cold by the time I got to them, but I got to late start with dinner. To your point, Brian, the saxophone's not really a solo instrument is the thing. Like I can't really sit down and kind of like play a tune and be like, oh, I played a song. I mean, I can, but I can't. It's just an ensemble instrument.
It's just moody, though. It's so moody. You could set anytime there's fog in the neighborhood, I would be out on my porch. I'd pretend I was Mac the Knife from the McDonald's commercials. On Halloween, I would dress up as nothing but Clarence Clemens.
I would honestly love to play in a jazz band again. Like love. Two problems. One, no one can get together. That's kind of the main one. The other one is I can't improvise particularly well. Like I said, like written stuff, solis, like I can play where back in the day I could play like complicated licks. I was good. I mean, like you can't play that long and
I can't envision it until I see it. So I don't know. Like now you're really building it up.
I have recordings.
Well, that's not enough.
Oh, I think it is. I think we need to hear a recording next time.
Okay.
Maybe a little, again, couldn't you record something to be the theme for this?
I can play a recording of me playing the saxophone. Give me a second.
Actually, roundabout
a
way.
lot like Clarence Clemens.
Here's a way to we're spotlighting Craig.
Oh, I thought he was going to play something crazy.
No.
All right.
I was kidding. Hi, everyone. Hi.
That's unfortunate.
Look at me.
Hey, great tie-in. The recordings of me playing saxophone are why I own Bitcoin.
You sold them?
No.
Oh, I was like, man, they must have been really good.
No.
All right. How did this tie in?
Years ago when Russian hackers or whatever, hacked into my computer and encrypted all my files.
Oh, yeah. And it froze it up. Yeah.
Yeah. They demanded a $500 ransom in Bitcoin, or they would lock my files so they were encrypted and I couldn't access them forever. And on that hard drive was an audio recording of every performance I did in college. And my backup software had failed. So I had no backups of it. So if I ever wanted to be able to reference back to the recordings of me playing saxophone ever again from when I was really good, I had to pay them $500 in Bitcoin, which I did, but I bought too much Bitcoin. So I sat on $500 in Bitcoin for like 10 years. And then 10 years later, it was worth like $5-6 grand. So I made a bunch of money and that's how I got into Bitcoin. And it's all because I wanted to save my recordings.
Wow. And welcome to Cody's TED Talk.
Yeah, I have no idea what just happened.
In Bitcoin, because for a while you were all over Bitcoin.
I don't comprehend any of what he said. I don't understand.
You actually paid Russian hackers for the recordings?
Oh, Craig, you didn't hear this? This was a huge. The FBI was involved and all kind of stuff.
What is happening? Cody, who are you?
Do you even know us?
I don't think I've met him. I know you,
nothing.
Noonan.
You what?
I know you, I think.
Because every time I tell a story, you're completely agog. You're like, how can this be? What is going on? And I tell the same story to Cody, and he's like, yeah, that figures.
I guess.
Wow.
Okay. Let's just move on. I
No.
can't even.
You got to. All right, you got to give the highlights of this story because I remember living through it. You telling me when I'd see you work, going, oh, I had to call the FBI, and now they want all this money for Bitcoin, and yeah.
Just a quick question. They had all your files, not just your saxophone recordings, correct?
All my
Saxophone
files.
recordings and
Okay.
porn.
Okay, I didn't know if he paid $500 for just the sax recordings back, or if it was something more significant.
And
You
porn,
haven't
yeah.
heard the sax recordings.
Apparently.
Pay $1,000. Easy.
Yeah. But how did you also have extra Bitcoin, by the
Craig,
way?
Craig,
Okay.
while we're on the topic, Lisa in the chat said, how about Brahms' Lullaby? That's funny because every baby toy plays Brahms' Lullaby. Also funny because I sang Brahms' Requiem and performed it in the Des Moines Civic Center my senior year of college.
I'm going to go. I'm just going to leave.
So
I have no idea who
This
he
is is like you're going to. This is kind of like the 23andMe, only the audio version.
Yeah.
Where you're learning everything about everybody. And
Yeah, I don't know who you guys are. I didn't know.
Carol on Facebook or on YouTube saying she remembers the Cody Bitcoin saga.
wow, that's
Carol's been a listener a
crazy.
long time, obviously, which is great.
Wow. Yeah. Craig CliffsNotes version is so you used to be able to download some kind of virus. I don't remember what it was called, but it would basically every file on your computer would be encrypted. They would, and you couldn't open any files, right? Like if I opened audio file, video file, whatever, Windows would be like, we don't recognize that file. We can't open it. It's encrypted. But, and a bunch of notepad files would appear on your hard drive and they would point you to a URL. So you also couldn't go to the internet. So I'm opening Chrome. I can't go to any websites or whatever. It's like, what's going on? But the one website that worked was literally a ransom page that was like, my hair's really getting blown out here. There was a ransom page.
You are so great.
Where it literally it was like, hey, you got to pay us $500 in Bitcoin. Here's like 15 websites where you can buy Bitcoin. You have to buy it and send it to this Bitcoin address. Mm-hmm. So I looked into it. I called the FBI and the FBI had office in Chicago, and they were like, we get reports like this all the time and we don't know how to help. Like we can't do anything. Like duly noted that you're hacked, but we can't do much about it.
When you guys said the FBI was involved, they were only notified and did nothing. That's not involved.
That's involved.
They got called.
This is that oversold. I can call the FBI for anything.
Have you ever called the FBI, Craig?
I have not, but I could, and then I could add that to whatever story I'm telling.
Well, they were in. Did they answered the phone? They said something to Cody. They were involved.
They're involved.
No, they didn't get involved. They basically told you to stop calling them.
You know what they told Cody? Secure your garbage cans because this Bitcoin storm is going to blow them down the street. Call back. Go ahead, Cody.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I checked out a bunch of websites and all these people were like, yeah, we got this virus and we paid them and they are legit. Like they will give you your files because like their whole business model is to get the money. If they get the money and they don't give you your code, then they're not going to have much of a business, right?
And they're jerks.
So I was like, what the heck? This is before there were Bitcoin. This is before there were cryptocurrency exchanges like Coinbase. You couldn't just like link your bank account and buy a bunch of Bitcoin, right? The only way back then to get it fast, because I needed it within 24 hours, because they said, if you don't get this to us within like,
no, you didn't.
Like 4 days.
They would have waited.
I'm dead.
The criminals would have waited.
That's not what the FBI said, Craig. They were involved. I don't know if you know that. I was involved in this story.
Actually, they might have waited, but I didn't. They were like, we need this in 72 hours.
Oh my God.
Double the price. And then a week later, your files are gone forever. We're going to delete the decryption code. So I'm like, oh my God. So the only way to do it at the time was I had to wire $500 to a person that had Bitcoin. And then they would send me $500 in Bitcoin to my Bitcoin address, which I had to open. And then once I had that, then I could transfer that. But you literally had to wire an individual person. So I did that and I got like $500. But because Bitcoin's so volatile, between the time I sent the $500 and got the Bitcoin and went back to my computer, the exchange rate had changed to where I needed another like $80 in Bitcoin. And I didn't know how Bitcoin worked. I was like, do you have to buy it in one chunk? Or does it work like dollar? Like, I don't know how any of this works. So I got another $500 in Bitcoin because I got like 550 this time, let's say. And I was like, well, now I got a bunch of Bitcoin. Maybe one of these will work. Then I think it was cheaper when I got back to my computer. So I got back to my computer, sent it to him. And then I'm sitting around with like between $400 and $500 in Bitcoin. This was 2012, 2011. So at this point, all I knew about Bitcoin was it was really volatile and the price goes up and down a lot. And I was like, I took this $500 out of savings. I don't really need it. I'll just let it sit here. I forgot about it. And then like 5 or 6 years later, it was worth $5,000.
Wow.
So I sold some of it and then I bought other cryptocurrency. And now I have like a bunch of crypto and these random things. If I had sold it at the peak last December or 2 Decembers ago, if I sold it at the peak, I would have been up like $60,000.
Have you checked in on the guys who stole your stuff? Have you seen how they're doing? Like, do you keep tabs?
No. Check this out, Craig. So I get the thing, I send them the code and they send me the encryption code and I decrypt all my files. And I'm looking at my hard drive and I was like, okay, all right, I got them all. And then I noticed something. Apparently about 60 to 70% of the way through them encrypting my files, I found the virus and deleted it. And another virus infected my computer and encrypted the remaining files with a different encryption code. So I decrypted about a little over half of my hard drive, but then the other half was still encrypted. So I messaged these guys on the site. You can actually send them messages. And I said, hey, dudes.
Did the FBI try that?
The FBI did not, I don't know.
Okay.
But I messaged them and I literally said, I was like, hey, I just paid you guys $500. Here's the URL where I paid you. Here's the Bitcoin wallet I paid you from. Can you please give me the decryption key for the rest of my files? And they gave it to me.
Yeah, they probably thanked you for your business.
They did.
Yeah.
And they gave me a second code.
They probably apologized for the fact that they decrypted or encrypted you twice.
I think they did.
We're really sorry about that.
Oh, we already got your 500. Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
That's surreal. That whole story.
You're no longer in Bitcoin, in the Bitcoin business?
Not actively. I've got a bunch kind of sitting around, but I'm not like dumping money.
For a while, you became obsessed. You were like, every time oh man, Craig, at some point it's good that you have no social skills or care about what actually happens in either one of our lives.
I want to get back
I had to hear about oh God, Bitcoin. It was every time you talked to Cody, it was Bitcoin.
It was a lot.
A lot of Bitcoin.
Now, do you guys ask like the follow-up question to somebody when they ask you, what did you study in school? The social norm is to ask them the same question back. I find that too boring to ever do. In my real life, I don't do that with people. I figure out a different question instead of ever asking them what they did in college. Do you guys just ask the obvious question?
I'll let
It's boring.
Right, but the answer, they go, "Oh, I majored in this." Oh, cool. And then you ask whatever other question you want to go to. You don't have to dwell on that for 20 minutes.
You discover that people are asking you a question because they want it asked back of them. Right. They don't actually care what your answer is. They just want to tell you what they studied in school and they don't know how to do that. So they ask you first. I'm not playing that game, humans.
First of all, once you're not 22 at a bar trying to get a little stanky on your hangy down, you don't need to be asking what's your major.
Stanky on your hangy down.
What is that?
Think about it.
Nope.
Get a graph. Draw it out. I'll get the whiteboard. The whiteboard. The whiteboard is still hidden somewhere at
WGN
303 East Wacker.
That's amazing.
Do you think it's still sitting next to that control board, just stuck away?
Where was it? Where did you have it?
Engineering.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure they've repurposed it.
No, but it was like in the there's a good
chance. Yeah, then there's a good chance it's still there. Nobody's found it and nobody cares.
Because there's a counter that went to the wall and there was a cabinet right below that counter and there was about 1 or 2 inch space in between.
Right.
You're not going to put anything there. So we slid the whiteboard in. No, there's no way anybody put anything there.
I would imagine if somebody found it, they burned it just because it was connected to us.
Mm.
I'm sure that's what happened. Yeah.
The Russians would have taken it and charged Cody money.
I tell you what, the FBI was involved in getting our whiteboard back. He said, yeah, Craig.
I'm going to involve the FBI.
If you call the FBI, they are involved in a story.
Based on that logic, I'm going to involve the FBI in everything that happens to me moving forward. And the FBI got involved.
Call them, though. They have to answer the phone and you have to have a conversation. Once you have a conversation, the FBI is involved.
Okay. That's good to know.
The FBI chose not to follow up on that conversation. I didn't say they were involved from start to finish. I didn't say they were involved in the culmination or solving of the crime.
Okay.
But they were involved.
They're right. They had limited involvement.
Very limited involvement, but involvement nonetheless. I will argue that to the day I die.
Okay.
Cody, if you go back through, listen, if the local authorities ran a trap on Cody's phone, and this is all lingo that I've learned from procedurals, they definitely would have seen a call to the local FBI affiliate. I don't think they call it an affiliate. It's probably a field office.
Yeah.
But
something.
A franchise.
Franchise. I'm going to franchise. I got an FBI franchise working out of the backyard.
Family and brand.
It's me, and I put the little Sherlock Holmes hat on one of the dogs, and we solve crimes together. Big pipe, not tobacco, it's bubbles, and we walk around the neighborhood and we try to solve crimes. I got a big magnifying glass.
Do that. That needs to be a show.
I can't solve the crime. I just burn ants.
Netflix will buy that.
God, that would be great.
Do that show, Noonan. Do it tomorrow. I can't wait. The Netflix Noonan show.
It's kind of like Turner and Hooch, but so stupid that nobody can follow it.
It's going to have a following. People are going to love it.
What the hell? And it's not even a bloodhound. Like a bloodhound would make sense in a weird way. But neither of my dogs are bloodhounds, and I would want them cast in it because I'm their manager, and I want 10% of what they get. So it's all,
it'll all be worked out. Netflix is involved. We'll figure it out.
Netflix has the money. They're spending it on all kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah. And once we call them and pitch it to them, they officially are involved. So
once Netflix even turns us down, they're involved. Oh, Netflix is involved.
Then you go to Hulu. You're like, Netflix is involved in this idea, but we wanted to throw it to you guys.
I wanted to bring it to you. Netflix showed interest. It was negative interest, but
I want this show to be a real thing so bad now so they can go back to this podcast and find out how it's all crap. And be like, stupid us. We bought a whole season of that show. Sorry, go ahead. Something else.
Guy who was drinking weird Sour Patch Kids cream ale and was talking out his ass.
Right, there's another guy just drinking a SodaStream bottle of liquid. It's a very bad.
Then a guy in a Bitcoin sweatshirt. What the hell's going on with that show?
What's going on with the show?
Are you okay? Right. You look like you're being attacked by bees. Is everything okay?
I just realized I don't have my diabetes thing. I might have to run downstairs.
Oh, good Lord.
That's not good. That feels bad.
No, I'm really fine, but hold on. I'll be right back.
Huh? Okay. All right, we'll turn Cody's camera off for a minute.
All right, so he doesn't die.
I'll keep an eye on it. So you really don't
I never heard any of those.
Any personal questions of anybody?
No. Hold on. That's not what I said at all.
Actually is.
See, that's not what I said, Noonan. I do ask questions of other people when I meet them, but I don't like the predictable question that's a reverse of what they just asked me. I really dislike that version of getting to know someone. I don't know why.
But couldn't you have now? It's 10 years.
Yeah,
you never. Even if you didn't want to ask it as a follow up,
right?
You played the long game. And somebody asked you what you studied in college. You went, I know they just want to tell me. Couldn't you wait like I could have 5 years and then bring it up? Hey, you talk about Drake. What'd you study at Drake? You
miss your opportunity for some of those early on questions, though, because if you don't ask them soon enough, then you feel like you're supposed to know them. I don't know. I really do. Like something in the back of my brain resists the, what did you, in response to your question, do that's the same as the question? I don't know. I hate it. I don't know why.
I hate small talk, too. I hate small talk more than pretty much anything else.
All right.
And not admitting that the FBI was involved in something.
But that's how you goose small talk, by the way, is you do not re-ask the question someone just asked you. You go anywhere else and just see what happens.
Well, that's I think why
this is my tip.
I'm pretty good, and you're pretty good at interviewing people because we ask questions. I listen, quite frankly, I talk about myself enough. I'm sick of myself. I probably haven't told every story, but I've told a lot. And the fact that I keep creating new stories and, and there will be more to come once my dog and I start solving more crimes.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I would rather have somebody else, and I don't care. They can tell me if I'm stuck in a situation like that. You can tell me any boring story you want. You want to tell me how you were an archaeology major for 10 minutes? I'm going to feign excitement.
Okay,
and then you're going to leave and go, man, Brian Noonan really cared about what I do. No, he didn't. He didn't care at all. He couldn't have cared less. Brian Noonan left this encounter going, that guy spent 4 years digging in the dirt for nothing.
God, he told me that story for a long time.
Oh, if I had to hear, you got to use the brush very carefully on the fossils. But I'm there, and I do something that I've had this ability for years. Like if you're telling me a real boring story, and I look like I'm staring deep into your eyes and I'm really intent, what I'm doing is somehow making my vision throw you into 3 or 4D where like your eyes are coming out and your head is going crazy. And I'm like, oh, I'm entertaining myself with special effects.
Gotcha. Well, that makes sense. I will tell you that my approach to small talk does throw a lot of people off. I don't know if it makes people like or dislike you more, but they anticipate the question that doesn't come. And it's kind of fun to be in those scenarios.
So, what did you study in school? I studied English. Have you ever slapped somebody open-handed in the face? Wow, that's not where I thought this conversation was going to go.
See, but that would be much better. I would have a much better time meeting that guy.
It would depend where, like, if I was at a business function of my wife's, and I did that, that's going to reflect badly on her.
You're wrong. You're so wrong. I mean, you've got to pick and choose where your crazy tangent goes, but you not doing small talk in every scenario can benefit people. It can. It doesn't always. The FBI sometimes gets involved. Well, I don't know.
Listen, if they have to get involved, if you can't afford the FBI, then come to Brian and Hound Detective Agency.
Yeah. Oh my God. I want that to be a show.
How about if it was a Basset Hound?
See, I would binge watch all of it, the whole thing.
Sure, because there would be misadventures every week. Every week. Because you can't, listen, let's be honest. This is not going to be a procedural drama.
No.
So not going to be like, oh my God, what serious crime? It's not going to be an hour-long drama. It's a half-hour misadventure of an idiot and his dog walking around the neighborhood trying to solve crimes.
On a shoestring budget because it's coronavirus times and we're not going to get a professional group out there to shoot it for you. It's Noonan, someone, an iPhone camera, and a very bad recording of you and your dog solving mysteries.
The dog, oh, look at that pumpkin is all smashed. Who could have done it? And then you cut to me on the porch, with a squirrel tied to a chair, and I'm hitting it with a phone book. Tell me.
See?
I don't want to. Little phone book.
This is going to win an Emmy. I can't wait to see Noonan walk up there. When we were shooting the squirrel beating scene, I did not think we would be here, but you never know. Life takes
you go like James Lipton and you do it behind the scenes. Welcome back, Cody.
I came in a weird time.
Yeah, sure you did.
Brian would go to the Jewels and the Binnies. Yes, he would.
Of course I would, because I had to go everywhere to search for the criminal. I go into Jewel. See this pumpkin? It's all chewed up. Any idea? No. And get your dog out of the store. Okay.
Hey,
Sherlock.
It's 9:10. You know what time it is?
No.
You just said it.
It's listener.
I don't know why that tickled me so.
I was trying not to laugh. Trying to hold it. Okay.
Oh, God, look how red I got. Oh, jeez.
What were you saying, Cody?
Just the delivery, the timing on that. Perfect.
Keep talking about squirrels.
Perfect.
Keep talking about squirrels.
I'm about it's 9:10.
Oh, Cody, what time is it?
Well, now it's 9:11.
Yeah,
so
not a funny time.
What was the rest of the sentence?
I don't know, but it
doesn't matter.
What happened before, but
I kind of just want to leave it at that. Actually, we're good.
Probably best.
Okay.
Maria says you guys small talk. You guys were talking about small talk.
We were. Yeah.
We were. Did you find your device?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Are you all set?
Okay, good. Good.
That's good news.
Mm-hmm.
We were just going over a couple plot points in the pilot episode for the show. We have an unnamed Brian Noonan procedural.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's
I was
exciting.
actually sort of that. So where Craig said he'd be upset if Netflix didn't pick it up.
Well, I mean, we're going to have a bidding war with Netflix and Hulu, and somebody's going to take it.
Sure, because somebody's going to show interest.
Yeah.
Could be the FBI. Could be anybody. So yes. So we're gonna
call everyone.
There's everybody. There's HBO Max. There's a million streaming services. This could be, if I really tone it down and take all the biting satirical comedy out of it, could go with Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Make it a kid show.
The Mandalorian. Are you watching The Mandalorian? Is everybody watching The Mandalorian?
No. And there's a part of me that wants to, but as we discussed before, I dropped out of the Star Wars universe.
Doesn't matter.
When Jar Jar Binks came in and took an alien-shaped poop on the whole thing.
It has like no connection to Star. It's just a really cool Western with fancy things. It's a very cool show.
I know. I just read something today that there is controversy because
Is
the
there?
child, which they call Baby Yoda, is the more culture. He ate some woman's eggs, and this caused a huge uproar in the. I know, Cody. I don't know anything about it because I'm like most people on the internet. I read the headline and then I moved on with outrage.
See, exactly. That's how people live.
It's exactly.
Baby Yoda eats random stuff. That's a thing we've seen before. He's basically like a frog in some ways, and he pulled a little spider out of an egg and ate it. And then that all hell broke loose because a bunch of other spiders came out of their eggs, and the mom spider was very pissed. And somebody's take on the internet is that Baby Yoda ate a woman's child in front of her instead of that he ate. Yeah, right. And mom was pissed, definitely very upset. And that was the whole episode was
the mom spider
all the spiders trying to kill the protagonists. It was a very Halloween-esque episode in the middle of this season. So it was very cool. But yes, that take was ridiculous. It's a ridiculous take that this was very upsetting because, emotions would be involved.
So you can't eat spiders now?
Baby Yoda should not, is what we're saying. We're actually saying that he's a horrible person now, I think. I think Baby Yoda is no longer a good guy. Why do they don't call him Baby Yoda though, right? No. He's the child? He's the creature, the child, the creature, the child. And the Mandalorian's a dude who never takes his mask off? Is that what? That's what they all are. Oh. What are Mandalorians? Are they people? Are they robots? Robots? Boba Fett was a Mandalorian, right? Boba Fett's. He shot first. I don't know Star Wars well enough.
Shot first.
Okay, hold on.
I know somebody shot first. I was trying to do a hip Star Wars reference and it backfired.
It's close. Do you know Star Wars at all, Cody, or no? Yeah.
Oh,
the Mandalorians are a group of fighters.
They're bounty hunters, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is that correct, Cody?
Yeah. I don't think he knows.
Are we done?
I know everything about Star Wars, but no dirt.
He's Star Trek only.
I am watching Star Trek right now, but I have Star Wars. I read books from the expanded universe back when that was not.
Well, then you should be able to answer a simple question: if the Mandalorians are bounty hunters.
Yeah. What? Who? Yeah. I'm not That's not a. That's not a. That's not a. Who cares?
I love how stressed you are right now.
I think we've caught you in some sort of a fabrication. It seems.
What the hell?
It would appear that you've never even seen a Star Wars film.
It's weird.
Maybe they're not focused on. I don't know. In the TV show, they explain what Mandalorians are several times, and they're a whole group of bounty hunter people.
This is not complicated. Is this is this the lore? After 15 episodes, you learn that the Mandalorians are still bounty hunters.
Well, wasn't what's his name a bounty hunter?
Boba Fett.
After Han Solo? Han Fett? Solo. Yeah, Han Solo was not a bounty hunter.
Are we just going to yell names from the Star Wars?
Luke Skywalker!
Greedo was a bounty hunter. IG-88, Django.
Okay, he actually knows.
Django was unchained.
No, you're right. Dengar. I was thinking Dengar. Dengar, IG-88, or Iggy. Bosk.
Wow.
I don't know any of what he's talking about now.
I don't either.
I'm very lost.
Now it's a weird flex. It is a weird flex right now.
It's who stole the Sun Crusher and flew it through an Imperial Star Destroyer and then into a black hole.
He could start making stuff up, and I'd believe him.
Yeah, right now it's okay, you got us. You know Star Wars, all right.
Anyway, they're
made me crawl inside one of those animals. Cut it up, crawl inside to keep warm.
This all happened because you mentioned something about a guy who doesn't take his helmet off, and all the Mandalorians don't take them off because there's a religion component to their bounty hunting.
All right. So now there's a part of me that wants to kind of tune in one episode, episode 1, because I just have to see this Baby Yoda.
Have you ever seen the TV show Firefly?
No.
It's really good. You should watch that one too.
Of course, but I own it on DVD.
Yeah, Firefly's great. Joss Whedon. Very good show. And I just like the Western element of both of these things. That's what's so attractive about that there's spaceships, but it still feels no, I don't think so.
Western.
Okay. It's Western-esque.
Do they wear chaps?
At times I think they might have. Can't totally back that up though. Yeah. You'll like it.
Do they talk about how much they hate sand because it gets everywhere?
Yeah. No, I don't think they talked about that.
That's real good Star Wars writing right there.
Okay.
So you remember that from the prequels?
Right, so I don't need to know anything. I don't have to have been invested.
I mean, at least I'm not.
I don't want to know if Bosk is a pear. Bosk is a pair. Is Bosk also a character?
Bossk is the bounty hunter.
Oh, look at this guy.
Wow,
Yeah.
Captain Spellcheck. Wow, good.
Captain
Bosk is,
Spellcheck.
no.
Captain Spellcheck was part of the Empire, I think.
No, I'm talking
Darth
about
Vader's third in command.
no. Bosk is a Trandoshan.
I don't know what he's saying.
During the
I thought
Clone
that was
Wars.
Optimus Prime.
Hold on. What vehicle?
Trans-Dojan
What
robots in
vehicle
disguise.
does Bosk drive?
Oh, it's
If he gets this, I'm gonna. Yeah.
I used to have the Star Wars card. The Houndstooth.
Oh my sweet God, that's absolutely correct.
Is that right?
IG-88 flies the
Oh my God,
the IG.
so
it's like
wrong.
2000, IG 5000.
Absolutely a Star Wars fan.
It's
So
IG
wrong.
2000, yeah.
Wow. All
I
right.
apologize.
I am going to apologize.
Can
for
you play
calling your Star Wars fandom into question? I apologize.
Can you play the Imperial March on the Ocarina?
And if you do, I will pull off my helmet to reveal my true face.
Which is a dog who fights crimes.
That's right.
This would be.
Okay.
We just end the quarantine cast.
I mean, whoop, and there's a basset hound with a bubble pipe. What just happened? Good night, everybody.
They all did drugs tonight.
Ish.
Yeah, that's something like that.
Yeah, I was getting it. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there. Yeah. Okay.
It won't go that high.
Okay.
I don't have multiple octaves in.
Oh my God. Did this show make sense? Can the listeners tell us, or the viewers, or whoever you are? Because I had a great time.
I think this is exactly what they've come to expect from this.
Okay.
This is it's everything. It's
I'm gonna have
everything and
flashbacks.
nothing.
Right. I'm gonna have flashbacks to the idea of you pulling your face off, and it's a basset hound with a bubble pipe. You said
Yes, big bubble pipe.
that would be my life would be complete. 2020 would turn good.
Can I shamelessly use the quarantine cast to ask a question of the listeners
Yes.
while we're on it?
Does it have something to do with a circular saw and a picnic table?
No, not this. No, this is a different home repair thing.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you remember, I had a heck of a time getting a dishwasher from a big box store.
Yes.
And I come on the quarantine cast and everyone's like, oh, just go to this other place. And then I went there and then I got a dishwasher. It was great.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I need I don't know. I probably got to get a chimney sweep to make sure it's safe and like a air conditioning, heating, tune up. It's a good company. I was thinking Lindemann just because another name from WGN, but
Right.
you know any good like fireplace, HVAC, heating, cooling people in the Lombard area?
Well, chimney sweeps are going to be different than HVAC.
I think, I guess Lindemann does free chimney inspections, so
Yeah.
not a sweep. All right, that's fine. Anyway, HVAC, people they can like, install like a garage heater, stuff like that. Any local people.
But you want them in the western suburbs.
Mhm.
I want to ask a question to the audience too. I don't need a recommendation for a repair person, but do you think it's normal for a landlord to be told that your dishwasher doesn't work and like it's collecting water, and them to just be like, it's okay, just stop using the dishwasher? Is that a normal response?
No.
Okay.
That is not
Okay.
a normal response at all.
It's
That
going to
is
be a month before we leave this place that we're in, and he's just letting us, and the water's just sitting there in the
fix
dishwasher.
it. He's got to fix it after you leave anyway. So
Yeah, I
he
know.
should be fixing it now. And I'm not a lawyer. That's,
All right.
that's my second Netflix show.
Yeah.
Where I'm the guy who's not a lawyer but dispenses legal advice, much to everyone's chagrin and peril. But there's a point where you go, listen, if you're not making the repairs, I think you can take some of your rent away. You can withhold some rent.
But it's the last month, and he said he's going to take it out and see what's wrong with it. And I'm worried he's going to blame us too, by the way. It's going to be a way that he tries to withhold some of the deposit. I looked into it, Greg, and it just so happens that you washed something horribly inappropriate, and it broke everything.
Was
which
it
we
a
didn't
serving
do.
platter? You're not
No.
supposed to wash serving platters.
We never use the dishwasher. Betty thinks it wastes water, but she's out of town, and I used it, and it clogged up.
Oh,
And that's where that's where we are.
Betty's
all
going
my
to be
fault.
so mad when she gets home.
Yeah, I'm not telling her. I'm actually keeping that secret.
She opens it up and it's just full of black mold and death.
See, okay, I don't know what to do here.
How are you? One, bail that water out of there.
All right,
And then two, just walk away.
To drink it.
drink it tonight.
Yeah.
All right.
There's
No,
another
next
toilet.
week on the QuarantineCast.
I will do it this evening if you play Old Lang Syne to end the show.
While you run up and get some
Yeah.
dishwasher water, and
Right.
Cody will run and get his saxophone.
Yep.
And then
I will kill myself in the show to see that
he
saxophone.
will accompany your chugging of dishwasher
Oh.
and residue.
Yeah, it's been like 4 days now, so that can't be good water.
No, you got to get rid of that water.
Okay.
Whatever. I mean, that's the first thing. And sure, is it dishonest to not tell your wife? No, it's not. Absolutely.
She could find it here now.
She's not going to watch all the way to the end.
No, she's not.
No, she's gonna get to the point where Cody pulls out his vuvuzela or whatever he was playing, and you go, this is going down the wrong path for me. And then it's all going to be it's not going to work out. I don't know. Would you? Now I would like if our dishwasher broke, I would tell Debbie.
Yeah,
because she likes to use the dishwasher.
Mhm.
Because she's well, I was going to say lazy. Lazy's not the word. She likes to use a dishwasher, as do I. I like to. Oh, Maria makes a great point. It's going to smell.
it's closed. Like,
Does
does it seal it?
in there?
Okay.
There's going to be all kind of stuff.
All right.
And at some point before you move, Betty is going to go, I'm just going to check the dishwasher to make sure we didn't leave a goblet in there.
Yeah.
Did you say dishwasher?
Washer? I might have said
You said
dishwasher. Because I just came back from the crick after getting my wash.
Mhm.
But I might have said washer. It's you know why? Because I'm drinking a beer from the South.
Yeah.
And it's now I want to find my cousin, give her a big kiss. There's all kinds of things I want to do now. But she's going to open it at some point and go,
Yeah.
Craig, did you know there was water in here? And you'll go, nope.
She does a deep clean of every place we move out of. Absolutely a deep clean. So it will be discovered.
She wants that deposit back.
I know. So yes, I'm playing a dangerous game right now because it will be discovered if I don't fix it
Gotta
and
get
or
the
tell her.
water out of there. At least get the water out of there. You never have to tell her you tried to use the dishwasher.
Yeah, but the landlord said I didn't have to. He's like, just I'll figure it out when you leave.
Who are you married to, the landlord or your wife?
Thank you, Cody. I was going to put it a little more base. Who's
All
in
right.
your bed, the landlord or Betty? And we know your Betty's out of town, so it better not be the landlord.
It's not. I think that would go very poorly for all.
Is your landlord hot?
My landlord's a man. So to me,
That wasn't the question, Craig. Answer the question.
the answer is also no.
All right.
He's not my kind of older guy.
Okay. But
A
like
weird sentence.
objectively,
That was
would
my
you
third
say-
show. Mean cross-examiner. And it's
Tell us
it's
if
not
your
a
landlord's
courtroom drama.
attractive.
It's just a show about people just asking other people questions.
Yeah.
What do you want for dinner? Answer the question, Craig. That's the show.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can't worry about the landlord telling you not to take the water out. You're hearing from two married guys.
I
Take the water out.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll
Get
do
it
all that
out of
stuff.
there.
Right.
Dry it with things that you can throw away and burn.
And save it for next week when we play the saxophone and I kill myself live on the show.
No, you don't have to do that. You're going to make some
All
other crucial error while Betty's gone that we'll be able to monopolize on. That's obvious. There's going to be something else that is going to backfire horribly.
Yeah.
So I think that's the way we do that.
Yeah. By the way, I always revert. I want to ask you guys this question too. Brian, you were just bachelor for a while. I always revert to eating things out of the pots, which we've talked about before, but I'm doing that again. And I love it. I love every part of it. I wish it was socially acceptable that you could just do it that way because there are less dishes, Well, like you let it cool. I made pasta and meatballs the other day and I let it cool.
Oh.
And then I took it into my living room in its pot with a fork and I consumed it while I watched Dragon Ball Super. That's what I did last night.
Dragon Ball Super.
I'm almost done.
That's
Is
what
he
you
good?
get out of
Is
this
he
story,
watching?
Cody?
Wait, hold on, Brian. The follow-up questions need to happen.
Go ahead.
Is it good?
There's a childhood element to it because, like, I watched Dragon Ball Z, which is a cartoon show, Noonan, when I was a kid with my
I've
brother.
heard of Dragon Ball Z. That
Yeah.
I've heard of.
Animation.
Even
Yes.
even my gamer tag on Xbox is inspired by Dragon Ball Z. It's
What is
partially
it?
Goku. It's Rai Goku. It's Ryu from Street Fighter plus Goku smushed together. That's Rai Goku. If you want to game me,
Look
be
at
friends
how
with him.
impressed Cody is by that.
Okay,
This is like you learning I played saxophone.
kind
It's
of.
me learning that you named your gamer tag after Dragon Ball Z. That's so
Yeah,
good.
You guys talk about games for a minute. I'll be right back.
Well, and I'm disappointed that I don't like Vegeta more, or I didn't as a kid, because he's a better character than Goku, by the way.
My favorite character is Gohan, hands down.
No, he's lame and super. You're not gonna like him.
Oh God! All right, then I'm not gonna watch it because the Cell Saga to me, like that was it. Like, I know
Frieza
everyone's
Saga.
all about Frieza, but
It is
like,
better.
what's better?
Frieza's better. Frieza Saga is better than Cell. He goes Super Saiyan for the first time. I remember as a little kid, no one gives a crap about what we're talking about right now. But I remember as a little kid seeing Super Saiyan happen and my mind exploded. I was like, that's the coolest thing that I've ever seen conceptualized in the history of cartoon shows. And I don't know how old whenever that first came out. And to this day, like, it's still special to think about that moment when I saw the good guy cartoon character defeat the bad guy cartoon character by transforming.
It was good, and the Ginyu Force was pretty fantastic.
Yes.
The way they posed every time, I like that. The characters in the Cell Saga were comparatively lame, but when Perfect Cell is fighting Gohan at the very end, and he goes Super Saiyan 2,
correct, after his dad dies.
Forget it. Yeah, and then his dad is like, the only reason you can't kill Cell right now is because you're holding your power back because you're worried you'll destroy the entire planet. Don't worry about incinerating the Earth. Just go full power. And then Gohan's like, okay. And he blows up Cell with enough power to destroy the Earth, literally. That's dope.
Are you gonna give that speech to your son at some point in your life? Don't hold back your power, son.
So my brother used to be married to a girl who had a kid, and I got him season 1 of Dragon Ball Z on DVD for Christmas one year.
Nice.
And I don't think he watched it. And I always held it against him. I don't think I ever forgave him. I was just like, no. So yeah, my kid's gonna watch DBZ. Heck yeah.
There we go. And Dragon Ball Super. Are you gonna watch it then, Cody?
I don't know.
It's on Hulu.
I still got to catch up with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, okay.
Which is another Japanime, Brian. It's about JoJo and his bizarre adventure.
I'll tell you something. You guys think you discovered Japanimation. Back when I was a child, we used to watch Speed Racer. We didn't even know it was Japanimation.
I watched Speed Racer.
Speed Racer was the bomb.
Is the bomb, yes.
You know, I didn't understand what was going on with him and Chim Chim and Spritle. I knew his father was always angry for some reason. Spritle and Chim. Spritle was his little brother. Yeah. Chim Chim, a monkey that wore overalls, and may be the basis for my dog detective. Because at a young age, I found that animals could do crazy things.
You know, I didn't realize Maya the Bee was an anime.
Who is Maya the Bee?
Maya the Bee was a cartoon that I watched when I was like 2 or 3. It was on forever ago. Didn't even know it was an anime. But I remember.
How do you remember watching TV when you were 2 or 3?
I have a good memory with that stuff. I don't know.
I mean, I have a good memory for all kinds of stuff, but I was reading something the other day, or somebody was saying, what's your earliest memory? I have no idea. I can't figure that out, but I remember watching certain shows when I was a little kid, but not,
Hold on. I got to see if this actually happened or if I dreamed it. I think I know what my earliest memory is.
Uh-oh.
I want to see if this actually happened. Did Teddy Ruxpin ever cross over with the Care Bears? The real question. Is there some sort of Teddy Ruxpin Care Bear like special that was on TV at some point?
That is a question way below my age bracket. I know who all those people are. Okay. I know what people.
Teddy Ruxpin is.
Yeah. I know who Teddy Ruxpin is. I know who the Care Bears are.
Okay. If they had a crossover, that's my first memory. If not, my first dream as a child was that they did have a crossover episode.
Was it when Teddy tried to date the pink Care Bear?
Yeah, I think that was it.
It accidentally got her knocked up?
Yeah, it got real adult.
Oh, boy.
Very fast.
Yeah, that's,
honestly
crazy. No, I don't know. I don't know anything about that.
Okay, I can't find it.
So did you figure it out? Are you both in agreement that Dragon Ball, whatever, this new one is worth your time?
I don't even know where that tangent came from. Why did you bring up Dragon Ball Super, Craig?
Because that's how I was eating my pasta. I was eating my pasta
while he was watching it. Oh yeah. So wow. I love the circuitous route these takes. Yeah. No, when I was alone, since your question was if I do what you do.
Yeah.
No, when Debbie was gone, I would make myself dinner and I would plate it and I would open a bottle of wine and I would sit down at the table and I would eat it. And it was lovely.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense to plate it alone because it's just
why,
me
Craig?
eating.
I have a dishwasher and I'm not afraid to use it.
But it's just me eating. Like there's no need to plate.
Just scratch the pot.
That's what my roommate told me all the time, and he thought I was eating the little like flakes off the bottom.
The flakes.
and
But
I
I'm
was
also
going to
not
die.
eating
I'm also
flakes
not a
together.
hobo.
You're ruining your pot, dude. You don't ruin your cookware.
I don't
Unless
think
maybe he's using a big plastic spoon, Cody.
I'll switch to that. I'll go that
Yeah,
road.
you should use plastic silverware.
Okay.
But no, put it on a. See,
Why? I don't understand. Truthfully, this is the same reason I don't ask the small talk
listen,
question.
Trash can Johnny, relax.
Craig, you've
Nobody's
never been
attacking.
one for a small talk question.
I don't. I hate him.
I remember you like met a couple of my friends for the first time one time, and like 15 minutes later, I walked by and you were talking about like polyamory and its merits and like what true marriage is or something.
Yep, that's the thing.
What?
I
That did
like
happen.
that. That's a good conversation starter.
Craig, unironically, no, actually, one of the reasons that my wife loves hanging out with you so much is because she's always like, Craig just like gets to it and he'll just like talk about like stuff. Like you really don't small talk. And that's like, this
You know
really
Cody's
cool.
wife's name.
My wife?
Do I know his wife's name? Yes, I know
That's
it.
the question. Do you know his wife's name?
Casey, I am aware.
All right.
Yeah.
So no, I think that's to your credit that you should know that you should know that.
Yeah, well, because I was asking Noonan earlier if we have to do small talk or if we can just not do it. And then I forget to ask the silly questions later. But the pot thing, everyone should embrace it. You should try it. You should eat out of a pot that you cooked a food item in and not dirty other items. If you're not intent on sharing, my germs aren't impacting it because it's just me. And I can, when I'm done with it, I can tinfoil it, put it in the fridge, cook it the next day, eat it again.
In the fridge?
Yeah, Betty does that. I copy Betty.
That's fine.
You tinfoil it. You tinfoil it, Noonan. This.
I understand the covering portion. It's what the food is in that I don't understand. How many pots are you putting in your fridge? What do you have, a giant industrial walk-in refrigerator?
I think we have like 3 or 4.
Emerald Lagasse? You don't put pots in the refrigerator.
She does. That's a Betty thing. The beans are always in the same pot, and when we're done eating them, if there's more beans left, they go in the fridge, and then they come back out and get cooked again. She's recooked a pot of beans like 6 times for breakfasts. It's just a thing. I've just accepted it. I do it now too.
Here's one for both of you.
All right.
When you're alone at home, or even with your spouse, do you ever lick the plate clean?
No, that's disgusting.
I will sometimes take my finger.
No, that's
or lick the plate like Fred Flintstone. And
Yep, no, I Fred Flintstone it.
Wow.
I can't lick my fingers. I think that's gross.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Really?
that's wrong.
I think that's real
You
gross.
eat like a guy who's living in a boxcar.
I do.
You can't lick your fingers.
I think that's super gross. I think it's disgusting. And if like we go to a movie and we're sharing a popcorn and you lick like, even if you get so much butter, you lick a little bit, I'm done with that popcorn.
What if you're eating ribs or wings?
It's gross. Actually, I use a fork with ribs sometimes. I sacrilegiously. I hate it. The finger thing, I hate it.
Craig, when we were little, there was an episode
weird.
There was an episode of Pete and Pete on Nickelodeon. Did you watch that?
Love that show.
All right. I didn't. I didn't, but I saw an episode one time and there was some guy, some weirdo, and he was like, I have the perfect etiquette for every food. I can eat every food the perfect way. And he'd like put the thing on a plate. He wouldn't drop any crumbs. He'd get every little spot. And then they were like, all right, we're going to challenge you to this. And they gave him, it was wings or barbecue ribs or something like that. And he eats it with the fork and blah, blah, blah. And then it's, they're all cleaned off. It's flawless. He's like, look at that. And Pete, I don't remember which, looked at him and they were like, actually, weird dude, you failed the challenge because the right way to eat barbecue is with your hands. And then he like breaks down and he's like, no, you're right. So according to Pete and Pete, you're doing it wrong.
I know. I'm very odd, I think, is what we've all discovered on this show.
I don't need Pete and Pete to back up my claim that he's doing it wrong.
Yeah. I have no problem eating something directly out of a pot. I have every problem with licking my fingers if they have anything on them. I will clean them.
But you will eat with your hands, correct?
If I have to. I mean, it's not pizza.
Sandwich,
except
taco.
Taco's fine. There's no grease.
Hamburger,
if it gets a little greasy, is disappointing, but otherwise it's fine.
Wow.
I don't like food items on my hands. That's not what
God made your fingers able to fit in your mouth.
No, it's why
right off. Now, Debbie, when we were first dating, Debbie wouldn't eat stuff like that out. Like she wouldn't eat ribs or anything because, now she eats it like, she doesn't care. Because now it's just me and who cares? She doesn't have to impress me. So she'll eat however she wants. So will I.
Can we go down that awkward thought for a second?
Sure.
The fart thing. How long did it take in your relationship for the significant other to fart in front of you?
7 minutes.
7 minutes? Have you told this story before?
No, I'm kidding.
Betty held that for months.
Really?
How what for months?
She had never farted in front of me. It was like months into our relationship where eventually a fart happened in front of me, and she was so embarrassed by it. And I was like, I didn't even know you were not doing it on purpose. Like I didn't even, and I thought it was the sweetest thing. It's a very odd, but I thought it was a very sweet thing. And I think that she's alone.
Boy, I don't know.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't remember because it means so little to me.
Gotcha.
That you know, if she had, you know, it's not the first night. It's not like, hey, how you doing? My name's Brian. Hi, I'm Debbie. Oh, good for you.
Cool. Nice to meet you.
Good for you. Out of a pot, and then I would have walked away.
I'm Debbie. Good for you.
Cody, do you have an answer to the question or no?
What question?
Maybe his wife still has not.
Maybe he doesn't want to talk about it.
Wait, what question?
How long into the relationship did it take for the lady to pass gas in front of you?
I don't know that she does. She doesn't really do that. I don't think most women don't do that.
I bet when the baby was born, she cut one.
Yeah. It's good talk we had.
A lot of pushing there.
I don't remember. There was a lot happening at that moment. I don't remember. Like, I don't think
you hadn't had your coffee, so you weren't really alert.
I hadn't had my coffee. I mean, who could know?
Girls don't pass gas for Maria. I think this used to be a thing, right? Like you used to hide this.
Because they're more refined.
Yeah, I know. They're better than us.
I can't now. All right, Betty will put the beans back in the pot in the refrigerator. She will not eat out of the pot, will she?
No, that's disgusting to her. She thinks I'm gross.
Yeah.
She thinks I'm gross. That's why I only do it when she's not here.
You're gross.
Why, except for the finger thing.
I don't think there's anything wrong with licking your plate.
That's gross.
It's through the dishwasher. The only thing on it's food.
Well, I'm not saying it's not hygienic.
Where's the plate then?
You know, that's why I do it with my finger. That's a little more, you know, civilized.
No, it's not.
No, because
what about if you ever had a porterhouse steak or a T-bone steak or something? You pick the bone up and get all the meat off the bone like a rabid dog.
I only eat filet mignon.
I do that.
Fancy.
No, anytime we make bone-in ribs or pork chops or steak or anything, once I'm done with the fork and knife part, I always pick it up and I gnaw off of it.
Me too. Have you ever wanted to do that when you were out at a restaurant?
I don't know if I have or not. I mean,
I've never done it at a restaurant, but I sure have wanted to do it.
Dude, let's just do it. Let's go to a restaurant once this whole quarantine thing is over. Let's do it.
I love just picking. That's what as kids we started doing. And you got grease all up your face and you're eating.
No.
It's so primal. I can't believe it. Do I let the dogs lick the plate? No.
Oh, you don't? Why not?
Well, one, I'm not giving them that food because it might upset their stomach.
Sure.
And so, no, I don't. It's not. Again, it's not. I know the dishes are going in the dishwasher, so it's not that. It's just, you know. First of all, if I've cleared, what am I leaving food on my plate? Am I Craig? I'm gonna, put it in a pot.
I don't like bone-in chicken. I don't like that because of the same problem. The problem you just talked about.
Pick up a piece of fried chicken and
No, I like boneless everything because I don't have to think about the fact that it used to be not food.
No, dude, we got B-dubs a few nights ago and
boneless.
Yeah, we got the boneless. We got like 30 boneless wings. And Casey brought it back, and this is like chicken McNuggets, but bad. They're worse.
I don't know. About
you gotta add the bones where the flavor. My dad taught me the bones where the flavor comes from. If we
Betty says that too.
I never get boneless pork chops or boneless rib. Like I don't like filet mignon particularly. Like I gotta have that bone in there.
No, I would have admitted that you're right about everything you just said, except filet mignon. That's delicious and the best of the meats.
No,
it's a really good cut. It doesn't because it's not.
No, it's the
best.
Have
the bone and it's very lean, so it doesn't have a lot of that flavor that you'll get from a nice marbling of fat in say a strip steak or a ribeye or something.
I'm confused what you're saying. It's the best of the meats. If filet mignon is the only meat,
it's always too well done. There's no way to cook it.
Oh, then you just cooked it wrong, brother.
Yeah, that's your problem. It should always be rare.
My mom for something. Oh, it was for Easter because we couldn't all get together. So she sent my brothers and I a box that had a couple Lou Malnati's pizzas in it and a couple fillets. It was very generous. And they gave you the directions on how to grill the fillets from whatever restaurant they came from. I forget. But I followed those directions, and those fillets were they were the best I ever cooked because I knew exactly the right time, and I was standing out at the grill with a stopwatch, and it was like bang, and they were so good. But if I had a porterhouse or a bone-in ribeye or something, I'm down 100%.
I think my grandfather.
Steak.
I think my grandfather always. I think my grandfather always ate filet mignon too. I think it's a family thing. It's an Italian East Coast thing.
Oh no, I love filet mignon. I love a good filet mignon. There's nothing. A nice bacon wrapped filet mignon.
Oh, you
like
see,
blue cheese or horseradish cap on it.
There we go.
Forget about it.
So Noonan, you're actually bringing us all together here. Cody and I have differing opinions, and Noonan is merging that gap.
You know why? Because I will eat any kind of meat.
What about ham?
What do you put that on the out of context quote of the night? Oh, we don't do that anymore. That was when we were on radio.
You won't eat ham.
Ham's gross.
Ham is gross.
Yeah, it is. It's gross. No,
Thank you, Craig.
it is.
I'll
It's
eat
gross.
any kind of beef. There you go, Cody. Mr. Correct everything.
Well, you mentioned Easter and how you had to do a socially distanced Easter. So is that the plan for Thanksgiving, for Turkey Day?
Yeah, it's Molly will be here, and it's the three of us. So because I've panicked a little bit that the word is because people will be having smaller gatherings that small turkeys or just turkey breasts will be hard to find. I've already scouted out, and I'm buying my turkey breast tomorrow so that I can. And my mom has 2 refrigerators at her house, and our freezer is very small, so I'm going to store my turkey breast at my mom's for a couple weeks till I bring it home and begin to thaw it. So yes, we'll be doing, but I'm making all the accoutrements, I'm going to do the whole thing. I know this is not going to not going to sit well if any of my family happens to wander, but again, they're not going to listen this far in either.
No, it's too far.
They don't listen. They don't want, if I was in person, they wouldn't pay attention to me for this long.
Say all the bad things about them.
No, I
Don't keep it to just
couldn't be
this.
happier that we don't have to go anywhere for the holidays. This is to me, I'm going to say it. Thank God for the pandemic. Now I say that tongue in cheek, of course.
Right.
Don't cancel me. Don't dox me. I'm kidding.
Right.
But the fact that I don't have to, and the fact that I have to say that is sad, but also the fact that I don't have to go anywhere for Thanksgiving. And my brother who hosts Thanksgiving is a phenomenal cook, and the food is always out of this world, but I have to go to his house to eat it. And I like my brother, but I just don't like going to his house. I don't like going to anybody's house. And Christmas, as anybody who's known me for any amount of time, Craig, you won't know this, even though you've known me for over a decade.
I've never asked.
I do not like going anywhere at Christmas. I don't. After the giving of gifts to my daughter and wife, I want nothing to do with presents and all that other hogwash. And the pressure of everybody trying to have a good time on Christmas is awful. So the fact that we don't have to leave the house this year on Christmas is great. Even though I'll cook another meal that night, probably a nice prime rib or beef tenderloin, Craig, the full filet.
Now, remember, you said that your family isn't watching at this point in the show. So who's your least favorite brother? Let's just keep going.
I lump them all together as one being.
All right.
I love my brothers.
Sure. But if you had to shove one off a cliff.
I don't like Christmas. That's the problem.
If you were on a space that was shrinking and one person had to go, who gets pushed?
Out of the 5 of us?
Yeah.
And do I take my own self-loathing out of the equation? Because I automatically pick me as my least favorite brother.
You sacrifice yourself first?
Only to get away from the 4 of them.
I gotcha. I would not do that. If it were me and my family members on like a raft, if it was a Leo DiCaprio situation, like somebody's not going to get to stay out of the freezing cold water, I would push somebody else. I'd stay on. Wow. Okay. Let's think about it this way.
How does it feel?
Is it just my 2 sisters and my brother, or are all the rest of the family?
Listen, you didn't give me the option to go to my extended family. Well, my 3rd cousin's kind of a jerk. I don't even know if I have a 3rd cousin.
Yeah.
You think I do? I probably might.
You could. I think you probably do.
My family.
It depends. I think it would depend on who's.
I'm not tracking my roots.
It would depend on who's complaining the most out of the 4 of us, probably, and I can envision who that might be.
Here's the problem. It doesn't matter who I would want to throw off. The 4 of them would turn on me very quickly.
I would absolutely be shoved off.
Yeah. So there's at that point, it doesn't matter.
Wait a second, Craig. Did you ask Brian which one of his brothers first? He'd get rid of first, just so that someone would ask you which one of your siblings.
No, I did not. I did not do
started to
that.
bring that up. You were like,
I
well,
did
you know
not.
what I would do. You know what I would do,
not.
Brian?
Hold on. I realized after the question was out there that I could answer it. I just realized I could.
Yeah, and then you did. You were pretty into it.
Cody.
Yeah.
Oh, Maria, that's the holiday spirit. Listen, I have so much baggage. We would need 8 bellmen to help unpack it.
Mhm.
But I will just say the holidays when we lived in California were some of my favorite because I like eating holiday dinners early in the day, like 3:00 or so. My family is a late night. Like Thanksgiving is supposed to be at 5. It never comes on till 7.
No.
Christmas, the same thing. So when we were in California, and I know it sounds selfish, but it's not because it's selfish a little for me, but my immediate family's there, my wife and daughter, and we created a thing for ourselves. And we would always call and we would always talk to people. And I know on Thanksgiving we'll do a Zoom because everybody's going to be in all different locations. And, you know, that's just it. I would rather us do our thing. That doesn't mean I never want to see my family or hang out with them or, you know, or talk to them. It just means on those 2 days, Christmas more than any other. Like Thanksgiving I can deal with because usually I was working and I would get off the air and I would race to my brother's house. And for a number of years, Debbie and Molly were down at my mother-in-law's in South Carolina. So I was alone anyway. So I would either race home, let the dogs out, then go to my brother's, wolf down food that they had already eaten, and see everybody for, you know, an hour. Go, thanks. So for Christmas, Christmas is a weird thing for me. Maybe we'll get into it more. Maybe, you know, we'll get a therapist on and try to unpack that.
So let's do the thing that Cody was also referencing a second ago. Cody, do you have holiday plans? Are you doing holiday things?
Yeah, I was gonna play the saxophone, like I do every year. I've done that every year. I've marched in a band of saxophones down Michigan Avenue. Every year I've done this since '11, I think. Let's see, with my 7 saxophone playing brothers that I've never told you about. Let's see, that's about it.
Yeah, because the 2 I know don't play the saxophone. I'm glad you have others.
Yeah, no, there's none of that. No, my my sister's offered to host. I am not optimistic that like she's out in the Rockford area. I'm not optimistic that someone at her work won't become diagnosed with. Here's what, like, we have had multiple arrangements to see family members, and every single time in the last month, every single time, days before we're supposed to actually meet up, they contact us and they're like, oh, a coworker was just tested positive for COVID. I interact with them. Now we have to quarantine. Now, fortunately, most haven't gotten it. But if you work somewhere and someone tests positive for COVID that you just came in contact with, according to the state or the government or whoever, or Fauci or somebody, you're supposed to quarantine for 2 weeks. So, you know, I think she and her husband will hopefully be happy and healthy and safe. But I would not be surprised if we don't hear from them in 5 days and they say, oh, hey, our director of whatever just got tested positive, so now we got to quarantine. So, you know.
And I don't want to go down some crazy long path, but for me, at least at this point, it's like, it's 1 day. And it's sad if we have to miss it, but it's 1 day. And so I'm willing to bite that bullet, and me more willingly than others, to just go, you know what? I can eat turkey and stuff at home. And I don't have to sit on a folding chair at a table that's been elongated from the dining room. I'll sit in my own chair.
Yeah.
I'll talk to my brothers and my mom, and we'll all, from wherever we're at, wish each other happy Thanksgiving. And then, you know, there won't be the tension that, you know, because something's not cooked right or somebody didn't. It's going to be fine.
The holiday bumper sticker for the show: I can eat turkey and stuff at home. We can sell that for the QuarantineCast. Just Brian Noonan show.
I go hoodie. You're going to be out on your deck smoking because
Okay.
your family's not around.
Yeah, there you go.
That's just it. I don't know. Again, a lot of people have differing opinions. And opinions are like the holes that we poop out of. Everybody's got one.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are nicer than others.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are more fact-based than others. So people are going to, here's the thing. People, oh Hold on, Tammy. I'll get to you. People are going to do what they want, and everybody's got to choose. As we see things getting worse and worse all over, people will have to make decisions as to what their threshold is, because there's people who've been taking this seriously from the very beginning. There's people who got on board a little further down the line. As things changed and new guidelines are coming out, people are making their decisions as they go. And I think the holidays are going to be one of those where you really have to decide if a tradition is worth the gamble. And that's what it is now, because, we all know that some people get it and that's cool. No big deal. Some people get it and it's kind of a big deal and it messes them up for a while. Some people get it and that's it. And then we don't know, even the people who survive, what holds them down the line, what things are going to, be long-term stuff. So for me, it's just better to go, all right, we'll talk, but we can, we've had a lot of dinners as a family, as an extended family down the line. And I anticipate, God willing, we'll have a lot of meals together as time goes on. And so to me, one meal on a Thursday in November, it's not a big deal. It's just not. Cindy says she's staying home. Tammy said, hey, Brian, did your mom ever get her bedrooms cleaned out? LOL. Tammy, big news. Yes. The rooms have been all painted. There was my mom calls, so the one bedroom has been kind of a hellscape for a long time.
Wait, hold on. Does Craig know you have a mom?
Craig, I have a mother.
Okay.
I had a father. He's passed away. Was a veteran. Today is Veterans Day. Thanks to all who served.
What branch was he in?
He was in the Army in Korea.
Oh, wow.
My grandfather was Army in Korea.
See there? Look at what we've learned about each other.
That is great.
What if they were trench mates together?
That would be awesome.
Nah, my dad hated Italians.
Okay.
Did either of them play saxophone?
No.
All right.
No. But my dad once knifed a bluesman.
What?
I don't know how that story ties in.
I know that story. I asked about it.
Yeah, you know that story. Sure,
Yeah.
sure. That's the one story. That's the one story Craig knows.
Oh, the
they
old
turned
knife
your
to
dad back
bluesman.
Sure. Gutted him from stem to stern for 20
Yep, I
bucks.
remember.
Yeah.
Whole thing.
Hey, guy owes you money. A guy owes you money. Am I right?
Right. You got to collect. I'm
You're pretty
Italian
right.
mafia. Yeah.
F you, pay me.
Mm-hmm.
If I could paraphrase Goodfellas for a minute.
You can and did.
Of course I did. That's my stock in trade. Stealing other people's.
Your mom, you're talking about your mom.
So I don't know if you've been the whole saga of all the work we've been doing at her house. So we finally got the bedrooms cleaned out. Everything was done. And then my mom hired some guys to come and pull all the furniture from the 2 bedrooms down to the living room because she was having the floors done after the guy came in and got all the old wallpaper off and patched stuff. And there was a little hole in the ceiling. So he cut it out and my mom calls me. Oh, Brian, we're having some trouble. I said, what's going on, Mom? Well, Mark cut a hole in the ceiling and then he called me up and you could see right outside. And I was like, that's not good.
That's how a hole works.
You just got your roof done. She had like 6 years ago, she had a new roof put on her house. Well, they think it was whatever. They think it was squirrels or something, which again is why I need to take the dog and go solve crimes because the squirrel shouldn't be breaking into somebody's house. So anyway, but to cut to the chase, yes, the roof got fixed. She called a couple guys. They came, they fixed the roof. The painters were done. Monday, they came and did the floors. So the 2 bedrooms are all finished. Now she's waiting and she's having the interior, the inside of the closets. He's coming Saturday to put all the stuff inside the closets. Then the furniture will go back up. And then the final room, he's going to go in and he said, oh, I can paint that with the furniture and stuff in there. And yes, everything is done. And I expect it to all be filled with crap in about 6 weeks.
Nice.
So all my work will be for naught. And Debbie, all Debbie and my work. And that's anytime my mom tries to do something, like bring more stuff in or go, hey, I was going to buy this or that or whatever. I go, listen, I have to come out and help you because I'm your son. Debbie doesn't, and she's done all this work. And if you do that, you're just spitting in our faces. So I lay some guilt on her, and it works. She'll go, you know what? She not that day. That day she'll put up a fight, and then I'll get a call or a text like 2 days later. I've been thinking a lot about what you said, and you're absolutely right. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I would never want to disrespect you or Debbie and all the hard work that you've done out here. So you're right. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah. So yesterday I tried. All right. So she's got these dishes, and she's 82, and she's got arthritis, so she can't really reach high. And she's got these dishes in her cabinet, and they're heavy. Like Craig, you wouldn't know, but dishes have different heft to them.
And she shouldn't use them. You know
I'm talking about a dish, a plate.
You know my advice to fix this problem for your mom is she shouldn't use dishes.
Well, she basically just orders in all the time now.
There you go.
So the dishes are too heavy to get everything out.
Yeah. Don't use them.
She didn't. She bought new plates, lighter weight plates. But you know where those are? In 2 boxes in the living room. And so I said, and we've talked about in the past, like a couple weeks ago when I was out there, I said, so Mom, how about I take all the old dishes that you can't lift anymore, and I take them and I donate them, and I'll put the new ones in your dishwasher. Yeah, she's got a dishwasher, Craig. 82, uses a dishwasher. I said, and then we'll put the lightweight ones up, and you got them instead of having them sitting here in boxes in the living room when we're trying to clean stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm ready for that. Okay. So I told her we're going out Friday to do a few things. And I said, Ma, how about I do that I get your plates out? No. I go, what do you mean? No. Well, I've taken one out of the box and I just use that and I wash it and I use it again. I'm like, so you have a cupboard full of dishes that you can't lift and boxes of dishes that you can't use because they're in the box in the living room. Yes. We'll do that another time. Oh, okay. I have no idea. So
just ask her.
I can't talk to you anymore. I have to hang up.
Just ask her what her feelings are about eating stuff out of the thing she cooked it in, and just see what she says. If she's game to do it, this could change her life.
I'll run it by her.
Okay. You got
she likes to give things a lot of thought.
Got it. Pro move. You got to wait for it to cool down. You can injure yourself with my system very quickly.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Roger Badish, award-winning bestselling.
Is he still here?
Roger Badish just joined the chat, saying Craig's still using paper plates. No, Craig doesn't use plates. You'll have to rewind a little bit to get to that story. But Roger,
go back.
You're here. I wanted to mention, used your circular saw for the first time today. Today, while I was watching my son, while my wife worked, I watched 4 hours of YouTube videos, safety tutorials, and tutorials on how to use a circular saw and a table saw, because my dad gave me an old Craftsman table saw of his, because I needed both to make bass traps. So I spent a couple hours, and after I was done bass,
they're not a thing.
I cut stuff. It was cool, and I didn't hurt myself. I have all my fingers. It's great. So tomorrow will be the assembly. All I have to do is assemble them. I just gotta basically put everything together. And then next week you'll see the bass trap behind me.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Before we go, but earlier I said,
Roger. Anyway, sorry.
Earlier I said I wanted to troll Cody for a minute. Craig, will you indulge me for a second?
Sure.
As I troll Cody.
Oh my God. I'm so pissed.
Oh, wow.
I'm so pissed.
This is the Prop Days box. I was a lottery winner for Bourbon County Stout, and I think I can say that next week we will have the brewer and maybe the R&D guy from Goose Island talking about this year's Bourbon County Stout releases. But Cody, these were some of the things that were in there. This is the oatmeal stout with aged in bourbon barrels with coffee and maple.
Coffee and maple. That's the one I want.
So this is the special number 4 stout. Oh, there were 2 bottles of the Proprietor's Blend.
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
Delish.
They come in their own box.
God.
The Proprietor's does, because this is only sold in Chicago. Very, very limited edition. This year It's aged in bourbon barrels with cocoa nibs, pistachios, cherries, and vanilla.
Okay.
Delicious. So you got 2 bottles of that. You got a 4-ounce tasting glass, which I've already washed and put in the cabinet. So that is not there. And then one of these days I will open this.
Oh.
Mystery.
Oh.
It is mystery. It is barrel aged with coconut.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. That is going to be something. Now, Cody, I know envy is one of the 7 deadly sins, and I can see you turning green, much like your hero, the Hulk. But I did this, I guess, to be mean a little, but just to kind of show you so we could tease our guest next week. And it came in this beautiful box.
To be crystal clear, the reason I'm so upset about it is because we got an email from Goose Island. You sent me another email separately. We all were like, oh, they just announced how prop days will happen this year. Tomorrow, they're opening registration to enter the lottery to go to prop days and get it. And because I have a newborn and no sense of time and no schedule and no calendar checking, I forgot to enter. Now, if I had entered and not gotten it, I would have just been like, okay, look at the draw. Maybe I'd be envious, but I'm just pissed at myself.
Well, I had,
pissed.
To be honest, and I didn't tell you this before, I had Debbie enter 2. And then if we had both won, I was going to give you the opportunity to buy the
Oh,
because this was not, you know, as much as we love Goose and Bourbon County Stout, I had to pay for this. I entered the lotto. I bought it. But man, I'll tell you real quick, the pickup, everything last year and years previous, and Craig, you're not a big beer guy because you can't drink that. Well, you drink that right out of what it's made in. So
I do.
I think you would like that. But they always have this big Proprietors Day festival to give super fans an early access to this beer. And if you're lucky enough in the past to win tickets to prop days, you could go and you had the opportunity to buy. You could buy a couple bottles of Proprietors Blend or whatever. You could buy little things. Well, this year because of COVID, of course, they couldn't have this festival, which Cody and I were fortunate enough to go to last year. Went with Dave Plyer and his producer Curtis, and we bought our stuff. This year, they couldn't do it, so they did the lottery, and if you won, it was like, all right, here's the deal. You won. So now go on and you get to every weekend in November, they were doing pickups for Saturday and Sunday. So you picked your 2-hour window to go pick up your stuff. And you went to the United Center parking lot. And they had big signs. I put it on the Brian Noonan Show page. Big signs. So you drove through and you had your ticket and you had your ID on your dashboard. And they had somebody with masks and they were like, okay. And he scanned your ticket, and they went to your passenger side door and put a little blue string on your door handle. And then they were like, okay, now you leave this parking lot, you take a right on Madison, go up to Damon up to what's it on? Fulton, whatever street the brewery's on. And there were signs and there were people. And as you pulled up in front of the brewery, they had a lane and 3 different stations stacked up with the boxes. And you stopped and the guy went, go to number 3, pull up to number 3, you pop it. Here you go. Contactless, everything. And you were gone. It was the smoothest system I have ever seen.
Nice. There's a flaw in this system.
What is it?
They put a string on your passenger side door, and that told the people at the other place to give you booze.
That told the people that they had checked in, that they had scanned your.
What would have stopped me from putting string on my passenger side door?
It was a plastic band. It was like a plastic wristband. And you would have had to have.
But you would have known. You could have told me, and then I could have followed with my own.
I forget if I had to show my thing again.
You could have ruined the whole system.
I didn't have to.
Cody could have got one. See?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think these were specific. This was this wasn't random. It wasn't like a ball of twine.
Call the Basset Hound. We got to figure it out.
I will say last year, if you remember on Black Friday is when they release all these Bourbon County variants. If you remember last year, I went to Whole Foods because I lived down the block from one in Lincoln Park. I went to Whole Foods at 5:30 in the morning. They opened at 7. And I stood there like an idiot alone for the entire hour and a half. And 1 minute before they opened, another guy showed up, and there wasn't even a line. So I just walked in the second they opened. I think a guy came in behind me, and I walked up and I'm like, can I have a bunch of beers? And I bought everything I could. Then I was pretty disappointed because you could still get wheat wine and Mon Cherie and the original basically everywhere. Like, it's not that limited.
It was not last year. It was not.
Yeah. That said, this year, now that I know the proprietor's blend, well, that said, this year, now that I don't have a proprietor's blend because I missed prop day and I know it's a Chicago only release, I'm strongly considering driving into Lincoln Park on Black Friday and going to that Whole Foods again and trying to get my hands on some.
Yeah, I would do that because Binny's is doing no lines this year. They're selling packages beforehand, so they're not letting you line up. It's a whole big thing. Nobody's letting you line up because this is a big. It's weird that it's such a big deal, but it is real. It's a big deal. And I was going to have one tonight. I was going to have one because I have this last thing, not last thing about my sickness, but last thing I'll share tonight about it. I want them and I have them, but now I don't want to drink them because then I won't have them anymore. But also the reason I didn't drink one tonight is I have a 2018 original Bourbon County Stout and a 2016 barley wine in the refrigerator. Ooh. And I looked at the barley wine. I was like, oh, I'm going to drink the barley wine tonight. It was 15.5% alcohol. Mm-hmm. So by this time, I'd have been, forget about it. I would have been cursing. I would have been doing 6 shadow puppets. I would have been telling you both, to take a, and then the other one was 14.5. And I was like, boy, either one of these is going to be bad. And Debbie said, well, just drink one because Debbie won't drink them. And I am of the opinion, once you open it, you should drink the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which is not what you can do. They say you can put a stopper in it and save it for a day or two. But what's the fun in that?
You can save it for a day. I've done this before. Where I would pour 1 or 2 snifters and then put a stopper in it, and then the next day I'll have it. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah. So that's what I may do.
It's not real.
Brian, I really want to have you over, not just to steal Bourbon County from you, but like I want to do, because I have a bunch of the Revolution stuff. Ooh. I got a can of Thundertaker, which like they sold out the day of.
Yeah.
And I got a 4-pack of Maple Death, which is their new Death Star Cafe Death variant. And actually, I didn't tell you this. Ice Bag John came through for me. My friend who really isn't useful for a lot of things, but he lives across the street from Revolution Brewing.
Wow.
So when they did their last release and they did the Death Star variants, they also had 2 limited releases where you could buy a not a snifter, but what are the 40-ounce
a crawler?
A crawler.
Crawler.
A crawler of 2 variants of Death Star. One was aged for 8 months in some kind of barrel, and it had notes of this and that. And the other was aged for 2 years. Ooh. I thought that the notes sounded better in the 8-month one. So I had him pick one up, and I drove into the city, and I picked him up and drove him to Rockford. This was Halloween weekend when I introduced my son to my brother. Jason met him and my parents did COVID Halloween costume. So, but I got that limited edition, and you have to drink it within like 72 hours.
Yeah. When they're in a crawler like that.
But if they do another release and there's another crowler or something, I would love to have you and maybe 1 or 2 bourbon lovers over, get heated. I'm working on heating my garage. And then we'll have like, maybe you can socially distant. Like the only thing is you'd have to get a ride from your wife because you'll be wasted after this.
This is awkward that I'm not getting invited to this live on the show.
Do
you enjoy?
No, it's fine.
And beer and stuff.
Hold on. What I want to
invitation to come to Chicago the next 2 weeks.
What I want to do, by the way, is bring my own collection of rare soda streams mixed with alcohols, and let you guys have some of those. Wow. So you can give me your fancy beers, and I will let you try my collection of. By the way, it's not COVID friendly. We have to share out of the bottle because I'm not bringing cups.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy straws. Can we all bring our own crazy straw?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm totally down with the crazy straw. But that's what's coming if I get invited to that beer party.
We have you are invited. I literally invited.
Yeah, he's invited. He told you.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear any of it.
I'm going to show up next 2 weeks while you're alone with nothing to do. And I said, if you make it out, then I'm going to call up Brian and we're going to have him meet us out here.
I'm going to be sipping my soda stream in your front yard near your garage, and I won't be inside the garage. I'll just be sad outside watching you guys socialize.
I'm going to sit in my car. I'm not getting anywhere near you.
Okay.
You or anybody else.
There you go.
I'll sit in my car. I'll run up to the middle of Cody's driveway, leave a snifter of something, run back to my car. That's how we do it. Roger will bring his espresso machine. Laugh.
Cool. Well, this has been fun.
As we get ready to say goodbye, are you a beer guy, Craig?
I like beer. I think that it doesn't like me.
Okay.
I think sometimes it causes problems. So I don't drink it as much as I used to.
All right, that's probably best.
It's a good talk.
All right. Well, listen, I think this has been a fruitful show.
It has.
We've laughed. We'll cry later.
I've cried over the.
I almost cried laughing. That Craig, I got to tell you, I haven't had a genuine hard laugh like that in a long time.
You're welcome.
Oh, my Aunt Judy is on the line.
Actually, my mom just asked me.
Wow. So, my aunt is correcting me. My mom is 83 years old. And she says the three of us are a riot. So
thank you. My mom just asked me if we could say goodnight to her because she's going to give up on the show and go to bed. But she said it would be nice.
Too, but yes, by all means.
Yeah. Good night, Mom.
Good night, Mrs. Collins. Craig's mom.
Craig,
Cody.
you have a mom? I didn't know this about you.
Really? Never told you about it.
I've never asked and had you try to ask if I had a mom. That's why I don't know if any. We were just born pod people.
I'm still not going to ask.
From the earth.
I don't care if you have moms. No, I'm kidding. I do.
That's obvious. Well, that's painfully obvious. Well, good night. Good night to Craig's mom, who we didn't know existed because he doesn't care if we have moms. We care about you though, Mrs. Collins. We care that you are a mom. Well, I do. I don't know if Cody does. Cody cares about nothing.
He still hasn't said goodnight to her, so this is getting very awkward.
This is awkward.
Yeah.
I didn't know she existed. I didn't know anyone existed. I didn't know you had a family.
It's fine. Don't say goodnight to my mom. That's fine. It's a weird.
Goodnight,
it's a weird.
Even if you don't know she's there, say goodnight.
It's a weird hill to die on.
I'm saying goodnight.
Okay, thank you.
Tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Why would you think his mom has bed bugs?
I
had him. He eats out of a pot like her son.
I'm not saying she has them. I'm just saying that they shouldn't bite if there are any anywhere.
Well, I would say if you have bed bugs, talk to your big, successful radio bunker son. Have him get you a mattress. It's time to upgrade a little bit.
Speaking of which, I have Chad Benson shows coming up later on in November. We'll talk about him on another QuarantineCast.
We'll talk about them all. Roger says good night to your mom as well.
Thank you, Roger.
We will say good night to everybody. Thank you for listening. As always, thanks for all the nice comments. And tell people we're here every Wednesday night. We're having fun. We're it's a nice respite from all the other garbage that's happening in the world. So we are happy to connect with you, and we're grateful that you're watching. Cody, thank you. Craig, thank you. Me, God, thank me for once.
Thank you
for me.
Thank you, Brian.
That was the most disingenuous gratitude I've ever heard, but I'll take it because I'm that thirsty. All right, we'll talk to you next week. Good night. Bye.